When the devil's in the mood, nightmares come pouring out of hell.
Welcome to the Supernatural Occurrence Studies Podcast, the 100th episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies Podcast.
Damn, it's been a hundo.
So paranormal. My name is Jason Knight, host of the show, and with me, as always, is my lovely co-host and producer extraordinaire,
Oscar Spector.
Yeah, see, yeah. Oscar, do we have a cheering crowd sound effect that we could play for our 100th episode?
I'm sure I can steal one.
Yes, let's do it. That's right, folks. It has been 100 episodes that you've been loyally supporting Oscar and I on this podcast, and we cannot thank you enough. If it wasn't for you listeners, we wouldn't be here 100 episodes later.
I definitely would have been long gone.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't put myself through hell every episode release. The stress, the angst, the anxiousness, the paranoia that I'm not going to get it done.
Well, my hell is dealing with you with the hell. Really.
That is such a common theme in my life that people always deal with my hell.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
My stress is my paranoia, my OCD. Could you believe we've been sitting in front of these mics for 100 episodes?
Well, not this particular mic, but yes, in general.
You can believe it? I can't believe it.
I can, yeah, of course. I've been doing this for like 4 years longer than you have.
Yeah, you're right. For your other show.
Yeah.
What's the other show again?
Oh, it's another movie podcast.
Another movie podcast, right.
Which is pretty self-explanatory in the title.
It's not just a clever title, folks.
Right. It's not just... It'd be funny if we talk about books or something. Yeah, but before I did that show, because that show is actually behind yours in numbers. We're like an 80-something right now. 86, I think. That was the last show.
Right.
But before I did that show, it's... we did Everything is Opinionated. That was the original show. And that I started like 3 years before we started this show, or something like that, like 2-3 years.
So you've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
So it's not as shocking to you. It is incredibly shocking to me.
Yeah.
Shocking that I've been able to come up with 99 topics so far.
Well, a lot of those, we milked as much as we could too. But yeah, you did come up with, like 90-something% of them for sure. That's insane.
Man, can't believe it. I can't believe it. This episode, I really put a lot of stress in myself to come up with an on-the-road topic, and I just couldn't get it together. I couldn't do it. Nobody's calendar matched up to make it happen. So
was that the thing you tried to invite me to that one time?
Yes.
Yeah. What was that?
So it's a place called Long Lake, a place in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That is supposedly even more so than Area 51 or New Mexico, supposedly the number one place in the country to see UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to take a trip there, get some interviews. There's an alien reporting center in Long Lake.
Oh, yeah?
And I wanted to go there and interview some people and do some sky watching, but just couldn't get it together, man. Just too busy with work and life.
Yeah,
I know your schedule's been packed. Joe and Dave, forget it.
Yeah, no, I responded like 2 days later to you, like, oh yeah,
2 days later.
No, wait, no. First of all, I responded to you that
48 hours later, I get a text. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, what? I don't even remember what I asked you 2 days ago.
No, don't exaggerate, bitch. That was about something else. I'm talking about the Long Lake. You said,
yeah.
I responded right away, but the thing is, I wasn't sure if I could do it, and then I didn't find out until 2 days later. Yeah. But I guess by then it was too late to arrange it.
It's
we can still do that though.
We're going to. Okay, yeah, we're going to get on the road. I couldn't get it timed properly for the 100th episode.
We should really do it for in October before it gets too cold.
Yeah, a Halloween episode would be cool.
Right?
I'm not committing myself to anything this time, so I don't look like a fool.
No, I don't think. Well, no one knew you were committing to this thing either, so it's okay. No, I think we should do it for October before the year ends or before it gets too cold.
Yeah.
Although here, for some reason, and by our neck of the Great Plains woods, we get colder in January. Like that's when it gets really cold.
Yeah. Right.
So I remember last year in Christmas time and Thanksgiving, it was like it's kind of nice out. Just a sweater. That's it.
Yeah.
But the cold once it sets in, though, oh my god,
right.
Forget about it.
So what I decided to do instead is what we're going to do today, and I'm calling this episode the Going Commando episode.
Yeah.
And for our more international listeners who maybe aren't familiar with our Americanisms, going commando means you ain't wearing any underwear. You're not constricted by anything binding.
Right.
Nothing formal.
We're Kramer in that episode of Seinfeld.
Balls are swinging on this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I roll every day, Oscar.
I know. Oh, I know. I know your proclivities for that. I know.
I can't wear them. I cannot do it.
Yeah.
So
it would have been even better if I brought the boxers you gave me.
That's right. I did give you some. I'm not going to fucking use these. It was like 20 years ago. So with the Going Commando episode, there's no script. There's no story. What I decided to do is reach out to Facebook and Instagram. Of course, Facebook for us is at Chicago Ghost Podcast, and Instagram is at Chicago Ghosts. So I reached out to our Facebook and Instagram followers, and I asked for questions. Any questions we'll answer for the 100th episode. So if there's stuff people are dying to know about how the show is put together, about us as hosts, things we talk about, our opinions on stuff, just send it out there. Put it in the Instagram or Facebook, and we'll answer. And I said we'll answer anything. So we got a good smattering of questions that I took note of here. And I'll just read those questions, Oscar, and we'll answer them truthfully.
And hilariously, probably.
I hope so.
I mean,
some of them were pretty funny.
Our sarcastic meter is pretty high right now.
Yeah. So we're not going to have any commercials or,
right?
We know, the lights are turned on, no, the candles lit, all that fun shit. Great. Before we get into the questions, before we get into the Going Commando here, we do have some housekeeping to take care of. First thing I do want to mention is we did get another patron, Horatio Leon, our second $5 a month Patreon supporter. And for Horatio's personalized shout out that comes along with that second tier of Patreon support, he didn't want to promote any social sites or anything like that. All Horatio wanted was for us to say on the show, quote, "The only shout out I want is for the fellow soldiers who are still in Afghanistan listening to you guys, that they stay safe and vigilant," end quote. And I think that's awesome. And you know what? Horatio gave me an idea. To our service, men and women overseas listening to our little show, first of all, of course, thank you. Thank you for your service, and thank you for listening to the Supernatural Occurrence Studies Podcast. And second, I want to ask those servicemen and women a question. Have you guys ever had any strange experiences out where you're stationed? Have you seen a ghost? Have you had anything strange happen to you while you're on duty? Do you know about any local topics or lore that coincide with things we talk about on this show? If you do, or if you've had an experience, let us know. We would love to talk about stories from across the world here on the show.
Maybe they encounter Jinn
in the Middle East. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So you guys, thank you for listening. And if you have any stories, we'd love to discuss them on the podcast. Of course, you can reach us at email is contact@chicagoghostpodcast.com, or you can call Chicago area code 872-529-0767 and tell your story on our voicemail. And that's 872-529-0767. So a huge thank you to Horatio Leon, and thank you to our servicemen and women listening to us overseas.
Yeah, you don't meet many Horatios anymore.
No? Yeah, I don't. That's definitely the only one I know.
Right, yeah, right. I mean, we don't know him, but right. Yeah, we don't. How many other? Is there a dying name?
Do you like that idea, though, Oscar, of trying to get people?
Oh, fuck yes, I do.
Cool.
That'd be cool.
Good.
I've always wanted to, try to include the rest of the world as much as we can stomach. or can do. I know it's harder to research. It's harder to prove. It's also harder to acclimate to the cultural stuff that we're into because we're in America or United States, I should say. So like it's harder. Right. It's definitely harder. But, there's a whole rest of the world out there too.
That's right. So let's hear those stories. Get a hold of us on Facebook, as I mentioned, at Chicago Ghost Podcast on Facebook. We got an awesome Facebook review from Tammy Marin Barrow. She recommended us, gave us 5 stars, and said, quote, "This is such a refreshing show regarding the supernatural. I can't say enough positive things about the chemistry of the hosts and the honest skepticism. This may be my new favorite podcast," end quote. Tammy, again, thank you so much. We love the review. Make sure and tell all your friends to listen to the show.
Now, by the way, your name, Tammy, sounds like your 3-part name sounds like a serial killer's name.
Do you think she's a
the
serial
assassin, right? The patsy, the lone gunman. Tammy something Barrow.
Marin Barrow.
Yeah, there you go. Something Barrow.
Yeah, that does sound kind of assassin-y.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Like, I don't know. It was a woman who tried to kill that one artist from the. I got nothing. Sorry, names are escaping my brain. That one artist, the big artist from the L.A. New York scene.
Why am I?
Oh, dude, you know who I'm talking about, right?
God damn it, Drinks. Yeah, he did the big Campbell soup can.
Yes, that's him. That's him. Yeah.
Oh my God. Why can't I think of this?
Huge fucking guy. What can't we think of it?
Is it the Drinks?
No, it's us being stupid in the moment. Fuck. It's in the tip of my brain.
There's listeners right now
yelling at
they're
their
thinking,
fucking-
they're like, God, these guys are stupid. Why do I listen to this show?
Right.
They can't even
No, it
remember his
happens.
name.
Everyone gets fucking flashes. Well, getting old. That's fine. I mean, we should move on.
Should we jump on Google or just move on?
Nah, let's just move on.
Oh, God. I can say it. I can say it right now.
Say it then.
I can't. I don't
You
know
can't.
what
Oh,
it
okay. I thought you
is.
knew and you were holding back. I'm like, why are you holding back?
So you're saying she shot Andy Warhol?
Andy Warhol. That's the motherfucker. Oh, Jesus Christ. You saved my life.
Do you think she
Andy
shot? Did she
Warhol.
try to shoot Andy Warhol? Tammy?
I think she succeeded but didn't kill him, or did kill him. I don't remember.
No, he didn't die.
No, he didn't die.
No.
But I know she shot at him for sure. Tried to kill him.
Damn, Tammy, you're
And-
badass.
Well, I don't know if it was Tammy, obviously. I'm saying I'm trying to think of one lone gunman that tried to kill someone famous like that, right?
Yeah.
That's the one female one, I mean. So yeah, anyway, whatever. That's the only one I could think of.
Got it. On Instagram and Twitter, we are at Chicago Ghosts. And just, I have to say, throw a quick shout out to an extremely loyal listener named Ruben Toscano, who's our number 1 fan in Mexico, Oscar.
Thank you.
This guy is great. Ruben's great, and he really wants to hear episodes about listeners' paranormal experiences. So, again, come on, guys. Send us those
we've
stories.
sent out the bat signal on those
I'm telling you.
a couple times.
I swear to God, it's really hard to get people to take that extra step. They're listening, they're listening, they're driving, whatever, to actually get them to take that extra step and open an app and send a message or call a phone number. It seems like it's fucking pulling teeth to get people to do that.
I'm going to try something, see if it works on anyone out there. Just give me 10 seconds, Jay, okay?
Do
it. Siri, open calendar for reminder on sending SOS notes about Supernatural. Maybe someone's car just did it for them.
Alexa, set reminder to send Supernatural Occurrence Studies Podcast my stories. Okay.
Then we just did it for you.
I think that worked.
We just did it for you.
I'll bet you that worked.
Maybe on one for sure out there.
Awesome. I love it. So yeah, get a hold of us on Twitter and Instagram. We got some new iTunes reviews. Listeners, if you don't want to join our Patreon or you don't want to go to Facebook or whatever, the best way to support us is to leave us 5 stars on iTunes. Leaving good reviews on iTunes help listeners just like yourselves find this little show. And we have 2 new iTunes reviews that I want to read really quickly. One is from Spencer H22. And Spencer H22 said, quote, "Must listen. Fantastic show all around. Always an interesting topic with great background information. You can really tell that there is serious time put into the research. I really enjoy the conspiracy episodes and in-depth discussion on various serial killers. They do a great job of taking darker topics and making them approachable. Would highly recommend the episodes on Manson and the Bohemian Grove. 5 stars for sure, end quote. Oscar, what do you say? What do you think for Spencer?
It's pretty cool. I love it. People really like the Bohemian Grove thing.
They do.
They really do.
It's such a good topic, yeah. Lot of intrigue and mystery around Bohemian Grove. People want to know.
Fucking
Cool.
owl statue.
That fucking owl. Big ass owl.
Mm-hmm.
Also on iTunes, 802 Boone 802 wrote, quote, ripping it up. Started with the Chicago Rippers episode. Oh,
nice.
boy. Anyways, good research and insight. Laurel Canyon is my favorite, end quote.
Hey, look at that. It's by the neck of the woods of the Bohemians.
Yes. So again, 802 Boone 802, thank you so much for the review. Listeners, stop what you're doing, pause the episode, jump on over to iTunes, and leave us some love.
Also, by the way, you said you were going to read them really, really quickly. That wasn't that fast. I don't know.
No, I was trying to enunciate well.
Oh, okay.
Now that I'm using headphones, which I never do, I hear everything.
Every time I hear,
And I could tell when I just
mhm.
kind of brush over words versus enunciating very well.
Every time I hear someone say enunciate, I remember I think of Sylvester Stallone, because
Sly
Stallone, trying to enunciate some words because he has a certain speech pattern or a certain vocal whatever, and I can just imagine him saying like, "You want me to enunciate?" I think I got it from Tina Fey's autobiography.
What?
Tina Fey?
What? You know how I know you're gay?
What?
Because you just said you read Tina Fey's biography.
Well, yeah, so.
Oh, that died a painful death.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't want to acknowledge your joke. I mean, Joe's
kidding,
not
I'm
here.
sorry.
Joe's not here
You're
for the gay
right.
joke.
That was I think it's the first one I ever made.
Yeah, probably.
Can we edit that out?
No, that's fine.
This is the Commando episode.
It's Commando, right?
All
Yeah.
right,
I mean,
all
we're both balls out. I think we're both pretty gay.
They're kind of stuck to this leather chair I'm sitting in right now.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And it's not. Is it real leather?
No, it's pleather.
Yes.
I have kids. You think I have anything that's real in this fucking house?
I bet your children are real.
Shit.
Real pain in the ass.
Real pain in the eye.
Right. I finished the line for you. Yeah, I think in there she met him in one of the interviews, and he's like, Sylvester Stallone, she was tasked to tell him to enunciate better on the skit or something.
Oh shit!
And then I think the way she described him like, "You want me to enunciate more?" And the way she said it was really funny. I always remember that every time I hear someone say enunciate.
All right. Well, I'll try not to say enunciate anymore.
No, it's fine. It's all good. I'm just saying it's not it's not an issue.
Yeah, we got a problem here.
Yeah, no. I saw his ladies movie too.
The new Rambo.
Yeah, I saw the new Rambo.
How was it? Please say it was good.
Oh, I mean, so it's terrible script writing, terrible writing, awful writing.
Slide looked good though, I bet.
It's like a hardcore version of Taken.
Okay,
Think of that. If you like Taken, I guess you like it in that same way. He's not as smart as Liam Neeson, but it's the same general things.
Right.
But he works harder than Liam Neeson for sure. There's 2 montages of him setting up shit. Like
I love Stallone montages.
Dude, they're so good. He has 2 in the movie.
Wow.
It takes a little while to get there, but the movie isn't long. So I kind of recommend that if you're into Sly Stallone, if you're into the Rambos, you'll like it already. But if you're not, then I don't recommend it because it's not for everyone.
Okay.
It's hardcore, though.
Yeah, I heard it's bloody.
He breaks someone's fucking collarbone. Oh. He plays with it, too. It's like, well, not plays with it, but uses it as an interrogation device.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that hurt me.
Fucking Sly. Sly and John Rambo.
Yeah.
I love it. I really want to see It Chapter 2, but I can't get away to see it.
Don't see it.
Really?
I told you it's terrible. Oh, I haven't told you yet.
No, it's terrible?
Yeah, it's awful.
Fuck.
It's terrible.
All right.
Sorry.
YouTube. Supernatural Occurrence Studies on YouTube. Got a lot of cool shit up there. Go ahead while you're on our channel. Subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified every time we upload new content. iTunes, phone number I've said a few times, email I've mentioned, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
So we're not doing any sort of commercials or anything today. We're just going to roll right into it. And as I mentioned, I went out and I queried Facebook and Instagram for our followers to just submit us anything. Submit us anything for this show and we will answer it. So I say we just start rolling into some of these questions. Some of them are good. Some of them are not good. But I said, if you ask it, I'll answer it. So I took a good handful of my favorite stuff that came through.
Yeah.
And you don't know what I'm going to say, so I get your real reaction here. And we'll just answer as honestly as possible. What do you think?
So you're saying, I don't know what you're going to say. That's what you're saying. Not the audience. You're saying to me?
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't. I think you mentioned one of the questions earlier to me.
Oh, I did. Okay.
But that's it. Yeah. So I don't know what's going to be asked. So I assume it's going to be ridiculous, and some of it.
Some of it is really ridiculous.
Yeah, I bet. I can only imagine.
And these are in no particular order or anything.
Okay,
I just kind of copied them down from Facebook and Instagram. So
it's great now you don't have to take notes for once.
Oh, I know. This is going commando, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very relaxed. All right. So the first question that I have here is, do you believe raccoons' thumbs is God's way of punishing us?
The fuck?
Yes. Do you believe that raccoons' thumbs are God's way of punishing us? Oscar, what are your thoughts on that?
No.
Just no.
Just no. I think they're God's way of punishing other animals.
Why?
Because I can see raccoons stealing shit from other animals. They can steal shit from us too. But I think mainly like they're in forests and shit, right? So they're probably taking shit from other animals who don't have thumbs. Lucky enough to have thumbs to grab things with.
Well, ironically, Oscar.
Yeah.
You know I had to look this up.
Jesus Christ.
I know. So raccoons have remarkably sensitive hands with 5 long tapered fingers and long nails. Unfortunately...
So they're coke dealers.
Right. Unfortunately, they lack thumbs. So they can't grasp objects with one hand like we can.
I've seen them cup things. Those are just them being creative.
They use both front paws to lift and actually manipulate objects. So this listener's question is bunk because they don't fucking have thumbs.
Okay. I think he means like, why would they be able to grab things? Because most animals can't, I guess.
Right. Well, these little masked bastards, they use both front paws to grab and manipulate.
Okay.
And they do wreak havoc.
I seem to think, you know what? I think this question stems from this particular listener's point of view. Like he must live like in a raccoon infested area.
I don't know. I'm not sure where he's from.
His shit gets stolen all the time or manipulated with. Wires are coming off. Satellite dishes are falling. You know what I'm saying?
The raccoon like stealing his fucking cable.
I think he's living the Tom Hanks, The Burbs version of with raccoons. Or something.
Yeah, it was very strange. It was one of the first ones I received, so of course I had to put it there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, those little bastards, they do. They get our garbage cans. They open our lids. They open bags. It's really weird. They're crafty little bastards.
I imagine Incredibles 2, that baby fighting that raccoon in that movie.
Oh, I don't remember.
Which is like the best thing. You don't remember that?
No.
And the Incredibles 2, mind you, not the first one. The baby fights the raccoon in the middle of the night.
Well, it's probably taken from the raccoon's tendency to cause trouble.
Yeah. Well, no, the raccoon was just defending itself. It was so the baby attacked it.
Oh my god.
Anyway, it's a funny scene. Yeah, Jack.
All right.
Wow, you got that. Nice.
All right, so I answered that question.
Yeah.
Another one that came through. How did y'all meet? It's a good one.
You want to start with the other two or just us two?
We'll include the other two because they're still, even though they're not on the show, they're still part of Supernatural Occurrence Studies as a group. So yeah, Dave and Joe. But Oscar, you go first. Do you remember how you met me? And this is good catch up for people who haven't gone back through.
Well, right, because we mentioned that. I think we've talked about it before.
Yeah, first or second episode.
Yeah, I think we were at
98 episodes ago.
So we were at this clog hop or sock hop. I don't remember, but we were in this clog hop. And then they started doing country music, and across the room, in the middle of this line of square dancing we were about to start, we met. Our eyes locked. And then
I heard this music in the background.
Dun, 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 right. Dun, 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 we locked elbows, and we yeehawed into a jolly old good evening. I got nothing. I'm lying. Never even been to those places. Clog hop. What the fuck is that?
It would be really noisy.
We met at work.
We did.
My first job was his third job.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there.
Yeah, right. You were a server / bartender?
Yes, at a pizza joint.
Right, at a pizza joint that's now torn down and it's something else now.
Yeah.
And I was a host.
That's right.
I was a young teenager host. I was 17 or something, or 18 maybe at most, because I started when I was 16. but I don't think you were there when I started.
No.
Yeah.
I came in, you were already there.
Yeah, so it must have been a year or two later. And then we were there together for a while, for like 3 years or so.
At least.
Before I left. And then you left sometime after.
Like 11 years
and
later.
then we never stopped hanging out, is my point. So like usually when you leave a job, the friends in the coworker area that you make usually goes along with it. Like you lose them too.
Oh yeah, I talked to nobody from that place.
Right.
None of those jagoffs do I talk to.
I don't even
Just
remember
you.
their names. Like
Exactly.
a lot of people's names I don't remember. Sometimes it'll come to me like, right, that was him, you know, like things like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't remember anyone. I just remember you and Brian. Really.
Right.
Who are the two people that are, I mean, you especially, obviously. I talked to, period, from that point. From that
Aww.
place. Yeah, that's it.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
And
Good.
that was Jesus. If you said 17 years old, how old are you now? 38?
35?
35,
You
sorry.
fuck.
I'm so sorry.
I'm fucking with you. I don't care about it.
35. So I've known you for a minute.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's been
Almost 20 years.
That's crazy.
Right?
That is crazy.
I
You're one
remember-
you're one of the oldest. You're in the 5 most oldest friends I have.
Wow.
Top 5 for sure.
Look at that.
Yep.
And I'm probably the oldest friend you have.
For sure. I mean, you're a whole generation above me. So yeah, of course.
Fuck. All right. Yeah. So I definitely remember that. My friend Brian at that pizza place introduced me to you,
hmm
and he said, "You gotta meet this kid. He's great. He's awesome." Brian thought very highly of you.
I don't know how or why though. 'Cause
Yeah, he
he's like,
still talks about. He still asked me about you the yesterday, 2 days ago. 2 days ago was
Yeah.
when I was in Sioux City, Iowa.
Yeah, that's so strange because I don't remember much about Brian because he moved out and I really haven't seen him. We've only talked like through you.
Yeah.
Since that point. So I guess I haven't seen him either, but I do, at least think about him. But the thing with Brian is that I remember crazy shit about Brian. Crazy capital C, actually capital K.
Yeah. Oh my
Crazy
God.
shit.
This is
He did some crazy stunts that you only see in movies that you won't believe. He's stranger than fiction.
yeah.
Um,
He's the one that would go to strip clubs with
Right.
us, and he would wear a priest outfit
Right.
with the collar and everything, and the girls were so. It was funny because some girls were all about going up to the priest,
Yeah.
which tells you a lot about those girls,
Right.
and other ones were just completely
Like
turned
turned
off.
off by it, yeah.
I cannot even approach this person
Right.
because of what I do for a living and what he does for a living.
like the shame factor of half of the people like it's insane.
Yeah.
And I don't know what made him talk to me because I wasn't like the way I am now. I wasn't as gregarious. I was
No.
a shy little bastard.
You were.
I didn't talk to much of people. I got bullied there a bunch of times, but it wasn't anything. I don't know what he saw in me, but it was cool.
Yeah.
And I really liked him for that for sure because he made it easier to be there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that was great. I thank him for introducing us for sure.
oh, that's right. Because you were like. You're like, fuck the world. If I don't know you, I don't like you.
That's right.
You were in that phase of your life.
That's
I
right.
know how you were.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and then it just kind of blossomed from there.
Yep.
We did a lot of writing together over the years.
Yes.
We've just been thick as thieves. I've obviously slaughtered you in water polo so many
Fucking
times.
Christ, I knew you were gonna fucking say
when we were
I'm gonna put this to bed right fucking now on
frolicking
the
in
record.
pools
I'm
together.
gonna tell you something. We went to New Orleans. Jay was kind enough to allow me to go with them and a bunch of people from that store, actually, from that restaurant, to go to New Orleans for my first time. And was that your first time too? No, right?
No,
Okay.
no.
Went there and we stayed at this obviously hotel and at the pool one morning or afternoon. We played water polo.
Yes.
Together. I clearly won, but ever since then, no, wait, shh, just clearly won, and I didn't care about it. You didn't care, but it became like a joke where every time you can in conversation slip in that you slaughtered me and that I took it so hard.
And mind you, this happened like more than 10 years ago.
15 years ago.
And I still bring it up.
Yeah, you still bring it up. And you say it less now, but every time you say it, like a couple times a year, it makes me want to snap your neck. So, and it's like a thing we have. It's our thing.
It's our thing.
It's fine.
That's
it's
right.
Fun. But
And
clearly
then,
won.
and then later on, you became a member of Supernatural Occurrence Studies.
Oh yeah,
Started coming out with us. You did a lot
with
of,
Bill.
Oh, with Bill. Oh God, that's another
You had
show.
the newsletter too. Remember, I write stories about
That's right.
Mexico.
That's right. You would write. We had a newsletter for a long time. You would write stories about haunted Mexico. You did a lot of photography for us over the years, all sorts of stuff. And now we're here doing the show together.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, so that's how you and I met. As far as Dave Black and Joe Erie, the other co-hosts on the show, guest appearancers, maybe
At this point, right? Yeah.
How did you meet them? Do you remember that?
Well, it's through you.
Yeah, but do you remember like the instant, like what the situation was?
Well,
Could you remember?
Okay, just like everyone out there on the planet, whoever in the future will actually meet Dave, just like everyone out there, just like me. I hated Dave,
Dude. Everyone hates Dave at
capital
first.
H, and then somehow it's like a venom that doesn't kill you and almost makes you stronger, so you get used to him, and then there are moments
build a tolerance for
right,
sure.
right, and then there's like the newt, right, versus the newts have anti-venom in them, and so it's to protect against the venomous snakes in their habitat. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a newt, and then there are flourishes of him actually being nice and a good person and shit. Sometimes that comes out, and you understand him. And once you understand him, you can't let go, but you want him to.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're at. But as far as like a specific moment, I don't remember, but I know it's through SOS.
Okay.
I'm positive. I'm pretty sure.
And what about Joe Erie?
Oh man, I met him way later. Apparently, you told me I met him some other time ago in some party or gathering, but I've forgotten. Or he maybe didn't make much of an impression on me or something, or I did on him, or both. And so I don't remember that first probable meeting a long time ago, but I met him when we started podcasting. Oh, right before we started podcasting, or right around that time.
Real? Was it that? Oh, wow. So that's recent.
Yeah.
So we're talking 3.5 years.
I feel like I've known Joe not that long.
Wow.
I'm positive I met him before, but I do not recall. You know, I never had like a conversation with him like in depth or anything. I knew nothing about his life, things like that. I don't think so anyway.
Wow.
That's my recollection though. My memory could be faulty.
Do you remember how old Joe is compared to you, Oscar?
I think he's around my age.
35, 36?
I think so.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
I think so. I'm trying to remember because
he's your friend.
So that's that. Yeah, I know. I'm terrible.
Every time I'm mad at his friends, Dave or Joe, I'm always like, they're your friends.
Who brought these?
Like I don't know them.
Right. Okay, so that's how you met the three of us. I mentioned how I met you. It's the same thing. It was at that pizza place.
I would hope it's the same thing.
I remember you thought you were a vampire.
Yes.
And you tried to convince us very hard that you were a vampire.
Very hard. I think I was just happy to talk to people. I was so alone.
Who bullied you over there? I didn't know that was happening. I'll fucking snap their neck right now.
Oh, you don't remember?
No.
You really saw none of that?
What?
You really not? So you fucking one-track minded person. You didn't see any of that?
No.
Oh wow.
Who?
Yeah. A lot of people. I don't want to mention names.
I will fucking.
I also
kill
don't
them.
remember any of the names. I think if I really think I can remember one name, but there were other servers and hosts.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Dude, well, you know what? You could rest assured that they probably all have Coke habits right now, and they're broke.
Habits.
So laugh at that.
I'm more of a Pepsi guy, so I can see a Pepsi habit for sure.
All right,
little dad joke.
So Dave Black. I met Dave Black. I don't remember the year, but it's going on at least 20 years. And we met at a job called Living Material Center in Skokie, Illinois.
Sounds shady as fuck.
Oh,
man.
dude. It was run by this little squirrely Jewish guy who dealt in bacterium, Drosophila flies, and like weird creatures. And he was like a dealer, right?
How do you start that business?
I know. I was looking for a jib, man. I was looking for a job. And when I got the job, I had just gotten back from a cruise. I was all tanned up. I had my hair braided in Jamaica, so I still had my braids in.
Jesus.
All my
Christ,
tattoos.
I wish I'd seen you then.
And I think, my eyebrow was pierced at the time. And I walk into this place, and there's Dave. Now, Dave is straight edge, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink. He was incredible. No tattoos, no piercings, nothing, right? Dressed like the biggest dork you would ever see.
I can imagine.
Yes, these thick glasses on, these curly fro hair that he had. Just two complete opposite people at this little tiny place. It was this little tiny storefront
episode. This is the first episode of a sitcom.
Two people that should not get along or hang out. We wound up striking up a real quick friendship, believe it or not. And we found out that we had a common interest in ghosts, and so we started going out to these little haunted places around Chicago, and the relationship just grew from there. And then I introduced Dave to my crew, And of course, everyone hated him. But I kept.
He's like, I don't see what you see. It's like, he's like the toxic girlfriend that everyone tells you, like, what the? She's so bad for you.
Exactly like that.
And you're like, what's wrong with him?
It really was. It was like that for at least. I mean, dude, some of my friends still hate Dave. 20-something years later, they can't even be in the same room with him.
Oh my god.
But others, he grew on. Kind of like you said, the venom your body gets used to.
Right.
And we just grew into this friendship, and we started Supernatural Occurrence Studies together, and that was really it. So it all started out at this weird little. It's probably some fucking biological terrorism place that we were supporting when we
God knows what the fuck that was. It's like Outbreak the movie and
dude,
shit.
Very strange. Yeah. Very strange.
Were there monkeys in there? Lab rats?
No, but there was every other animal you could think of.
All right. Well, he likes animals, so that makes sense. He was there.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I was just looking for a job. So,
yeah.
So that's how Dave and I met, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else to Dave's story with us. But...
Well, with anything, Dave, I mean, if you want to see if you're actually an empathetic person, just try it out with Dave. If you find out you still have empathy for him, then you are very empathetic.
That's right.
Empathy
true.
Works.
That's true.
That's how it works.
Now, as far as Joe Erie, this is a bad story, actually. If my wife listens to this, I'm in big trouble because I'm talking about it.
Oh, you met him in prison, huh?
But no one really knows who I am, so I could, kind of tell the truth there. Because I said, ask a question, we'll answer. So, Joe, I've known since he was in high school. I think he was a junior in high school when I met him. And I'm 42, he's 35 or 36. So I was quite a bit older than Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, Katie, my now wife, and I had just started dating. And I was unfaithful. Okay. And I started being with this other girl at the same time. And obviously nothing worked there, thank God. And I'm married to my wife now, and I'm thank God every day for her. But through this girl, her brother knew Joe. They went to high school together. So at parties that we would go to, this girl's brother would bring Joe. And Joe's a musician, so one of the parties I threw, his band played, and on his bass case, he had this sticker that said, "I love ghosts." So after the show, after everyone kind of cleared out, tons and tons of people were there. After everyone cleared out, I go up to him like, "Hey man, what's up with that sticker on your bass?" And it all just took up from there. And I'm like, dude, you got to see these pictures we've collected. We have this thing that we do, this group. I don't even remember what we were called at the time as a paranormal investigation group. Mm-hmm. It could have been FPI, Freelance Paranormal Investigators.
Wow, that's a good name.
Really hardcore shit, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yeah, we do this thing, and here's our photo album, right? And I started showing them all these pictures of what I think are legitimate ghosts that we've collected up to that point.
Right.
And you can see these pictures on ChicagoGhostPodcast.com. Great stuff. And Joe's like, "Well, those are really cool." He goes, "Actually, I have some pictures like that from when I was a kid. My parents took of me." So, we went to his house a couple days later. I saw the pictures, and we started going out to these haunted locations. And then the relationship just, again, blossomed, found another kindred spirit.
Yeah.
And we've been one of my best friends. He's been one of my best friends ever since. And that's how I met Joe. Through this, that was the best thing. I always say that was the best thing that came out of this
affair.
Yes, that's what it was. So.
Well, it's not. She doesn't know, right?
No, she knows.
Right,
she knows. Yeah,
I would hope so.
She knew. She knew.
Don't break it to her here.
I don't have a good poker face. She knew right away. But
right.
That is more than 20 years in the past. So but it stings.
Yeah, no, I get that.
It stings or so.
I definitely don't want to keep mentioning it to make it sting on you.
Yes.
But I would say, though, why wasn't Joe there when I joined up? Because I remember it was four of us, you, Dave, Bill, and me.
There's been a few times in Joe and I's relationship where we had falling outs.
I see.
And that
Boys.
that was one of the times. I think we went like 3 years without talking. But you could always tell a true friend if you go a gap of time without talking, if you could pick up just like you did, like it never happened, that means something. So that's how Joe and I are. And so when you came aboard, that's where Joe was. We weren't speaking at that time.
Right. We've only had one fallout, right?
No, we've had a few.
A few? Or maybe I was just on your end.
Who, you and me?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was just one. One real one, anyway. Was there more than one?
No, I don't remember even one.
Really?
Yeah.
Should I mention it? No.
Was it bad?
No, I mean, I don't think it's bad. I think it's actually something we could probably rekindle. But it was based on something that we were trying to do together, you remember?
No.
Involving some writing. Short stories. You remember that?
Oh.
You remember?
I think I do.
Yeah.
Didn't we critique one of each other's or something and the other one got mad?
It was you who got mad, but it was because I
sorry.
put a lot of jokes in the margins, and I think you thought that either I wasn't taking it seriously or that you thought I was being serious about my joking in the margins of the notes or something. Remember? Something like that. It started from there.
It's kind of coming back now.
Yeah. It was a cool
God,
story.
that was a long time
I really
ago.
like the story. Yeah.
That was long.
That was a long time ago, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's only one. Oh, that's good. Only one falling out.
I think so. Pretty sure that's the only one I can think of.
Dave and I have had countless, literally countless. Joe and I probably had maybe 3 over the years that I've known him.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah. So that's how we all met.
Yeah.
And we do have an episode, I think it was episode 2, where we talk about all this stuff. So
That's true, yes.
listeners, go back in the archives. Anything else you would add to that, Oscar?
No, but man, you're sparking some memories. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't thought of this person, or I haven't thought of that person in a long time.
Nice.
Well, no, not nice. I didn't think it was him.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
You're bringing back past trauma.
Yeah, no, but I remember some people were like, you know, they were cool. I remember, I'll remember back, like, oh yeah, I haven't thought of this guy. Like,
Yeah.
He was cool. Like, things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes me miss Brian because I really haven't seen him.
Yeah, Brian. Oh, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian is old friend of ours.
Yeah.
Old friend, man.
Yeah.
Nuttier than a fruitcake.
Definitely. I would say he's even nuttier than Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the most loyal,
Oh, for sure.
smart, just dedicated man you'll ever meet. But he has a way of thinking about the world that rubs 99.9% of people the wrong way.
He's the antibacterial of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been begging him, let me get you on mic. Let me record you. Let's get this out there because there's a market for what you say.
Right.
You know.
And in this day and age, you can do it you can do that kind of thing and be
Absolutely.
in the comfort of whatever you are.
Yeah.
Right. And get your voice out there regardless.
But he's so smart and so opinionated and could argue and debate well.
And has terrible opinions on the Star Wars franchise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, he's just a brother of mine, man. And I would love to get him on mic and get his thoughts out there to the world because people will hate it. People will love it. But I really believe he could draw a huge following.
Probably, yeah.
And but unfortunately, he's many, many states away.
Quite.
And it's hard to do. Skype is always available, but maybe that'll be a project for 2020.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Brian, if you're listening, I love you. Another question we got was sneak peek at possible future episodes.
This one I think we both can answer.
Go for it.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Sure. While I
okay.
take a drink.
Okay. We'll take a long one because I have a few ideas here.
Go for it. Yeah.
So I've been, ever since we started the Patreon Good and Proper with the bonus episodes, I've obviously been pitching bonus ideas for Jay. I pitched this one that Jay immediately said, like, this is like a 3-parter main show episode. And I'm like, what? I thought it was going to be like a bonus, like a one-off. But he kind of convinced me that it could be broken down in at least 2 episodes probably. It can be broken down in a conceivable, like, good way to build momentum and suspense on this topic that I thought of. Well, particularly about something that happened or may not have happened in 2012, and that's really the hint I'll give. But it was like this outline that he seemed to enjoy, and I'm like, oh, cool. So
very much so.
Kind of gave me the green light to research more into it. I've been reading stuff. I'm still trying to hash it out. And there's this other one that I thought of over a year ago that I know I keep teasing you about. And the only reason I keep stopping myself or keep forgetting to get back on it or like get back on it for an hour or two and then stop again is because it's just so daunting. It's like I'm chipping away at it, but like it's still too much ice. Like I don't know where it stops yet. Yeah. And until I have a better grasp, then I can give you a timeline as to when it'll be ready, things like that.
I'm really excited about that one too.
Yeah, that one's insane, and a lot of it is it's so strange, but it involves aliens for sure. It involves alien activity, governmental knowledge of aliens. It involves that kind of behavior, that kind of thing. So that's a clue right there.
Love it.
I thought of one to do like a show. Maybe this will be bonus more with Lexi, because Lexi Raven here on the show, who is a guest host. Maybe if this is your first time listening, we have another guest host here. She's younger. She's my girlfriend. And she has had a lot of traumatic experiences in her life that not necessarily supernatural, but we believe that a lot of traumatic experiences tend to lean into like being open to that behavior. So she's had a lot of experiences in her short life on Earth so far. Short life because she's like 10 years younger than me. But yeah, she's had quite a number of like crazy, like intense, like responses in the air and when she's alone, when she dreams, things like that, that could definitely be in our wheelhouse. And I was thinking of like not interrogating her, but like combing through her life a bit in a way we can guide to make a show out of it. And she's learning she knows a lot of spiritualism stuff, crystals and whatnot, like Joe.
Yeah, you said she just came back from
a Reiki class.
Intense Reiki training.
Yeah, Reiki training. There's apparently 3 large training things, like stages. She did the first one this past week alone, and she has a lot of information. So I figure all that's really good and openable for us to talk about, because we never really delve into that. I know Joe did.
No, yeah, Joe was big on the crystals.
On the crystal stuff, and they're both are kindred spirits in that angle. And I know some for sure. I have a bunch at home, but she knows way more. So
that could be good.
It could be good to do a show on her, maybe, and I can help guide it through. Maybe just be me and her. You don't have to worry about researching any crazy thing about it.
That would be nice.
But, whatever. I can bring her along here, too. It doesn't matter. So those 3 shows were off the top of my head I thought of, and other little ones, like a clip show. I know I mentioned that to you, Jay.
Yeah, I really want a clip show.
A clip show is, for those who may not know what that means, in sitcom, in the 90s especially, 70s to the 90s, shows ran like 22 episodes per season. And the really long ones, like Seinfeld and whatever, they ran 9 seasons long. So, how can they think of so many episodes? Well, what they do is that they recycle a lot of shit. And sometimes when they don't have anything fresh to give out that's worth like making an episode about, or better yet, when the company wants a day off or like a week off from making a new episode, they do a clip show where they show you like, oh, this is like a funny way to like show you what happened to them in the past 5 seasons or whatever.
I love that idea, man. I was
thinking of doing one like that where it could be either, on one hand, it could be compiled of our funniest moments in our outtakes. Like compile a bunch of outtakes.
Yes.
Or a bunch of funny bits in the show and combine them in a maybe not linear way. There's no way to linearize fucking outtakes. But if there is a way, like maybe in sections, like every time we talk about sex, all the sex jokes we make, like one, things like that. And I was thinking of doing a clip show about that, or it could be something more serious where we touch on a lot of these topics so we can like bring in more audiences who are maybe interested in that kind of thing.
Like serial killers.
Like serial killers, or just like a 33rd parallel, like we mentioned, like, oh, that's crazy there, and then missing 411 here, and little things like that. Or like the theories we throw out, or something like that. I
love that idea because I'll tell you, you touched on something important, taking a break. Mm-hmm. We don't take breaks here.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Now, very, very famous podcasts that I listen to, I'll mention one. It's called Reply All. And Reply All, listeners, I highly recommend it. Check it out. They tackle strange technology topics, strange internet topics. They solve problems. They investigate viral things. It's very, very good. Very well produced. Love the show. But during the summer, they go on a summer break.
Yeah.
And they don't release any new content all summer. They'll just like replay past episodes.
Okay.
And I don't like that idea.
Right.
We're just replaying all past episodes. So to keep it fresh, but while still giving a break, I think clip is the way to go.
Right. And I can like section it. For example, like I don't have to comb through the last 100 episodes to make one clip show. For example, like I could do the first 25 to 30 worth of outtakes or funny stuff we talk about. And that could be one clip show if we ever want to like take a break that 2-week period.
Right.
I don't think I won't have enough material to make it a whole summer, but I have enough material to make it a few shows.
Right.
And that could be a way to take the edge off a little bit. And it could be funny and entertaining it'll be informative for new listeners who haven't heard those, but it'll be entertaining for those who have heard it before and can understand our position sometimes. But yeah, I listen to like the Film Spotting podcast who does, they do movie reviews. They're one of the very first podcasters out there about it. Oh. When they recycle sometimes. What they do is that they recycle sections, but they still bring themselves in to introduce the new sections and talk about like, oh, what's going to come out next week. That's new new recordings.
I see.
But sometimes they release like, oh, this is the 20th anniversary of this movie. We already reviewed it, but here's a review again for the 20th anniversary. And then, but later on in the episode, because they do multiple stuff, later on they'll have new material about other stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So they recycle some of it, but not all of it.
That's great. And especially if you do an outtakes show or two, whatever you decide.
Yeah.
How many listeners actually sit through the end commercials and end song to listen to our outtakes?
That's true.
Because most episodes have outtakes, believe it or not.
Yeah, I would say like 90 to 100%.
And it's if they're there, it's in the show notes. If that particular episode has outtakes, I always put in the show notes that there's outtakes after the show. Stick around. So I mean, even though it's rehashed for us, that could be brand new for listeners.
Yeah, that's
they're
true.
not sitting through them. So I love the idea.
Yeah, and if like, and let's say we do one. I'm for some reason I'm spitballing, brainstorming with you now on air, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's say we do like one of each. One clip show about our theorizing and some of our more serious stuff, and then one about our outtakes and funny stuff, right? Let's say we release one of each.
Yeah.
And then our feedback that we get, maybe if it's a little like uneven or if it's a little mixed more than we would think, we can then if we do another one, we can do it with commenting on it. Like we can show like, oh, this is when we talked about that thing, remember? Like, oh, do you still think that thing about whatever that theory that was? You know? Or we can like comment on it. That way we still record live, we're still recording or doing a show, but like we do less work because we're commenting on something we've already recorded. I
think it's great.
That could be a good way to approach it too.
I love it all. Yeah.
So that could be potentially a dozen shows. I don't know how long that will be, but yeah.
And maybe some could be for Patreon too. Who knows?
Right. That's another idea I had for Patreon as well. Maybe the funny stuff for Patreon or the other way around.
Sure.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Love it.
Yeah.
What
about you?
Yeah, for me, obviously I'm working on this serial killer spider web, right? That's not close to being done.
Okay.
There's still a few more cases I want to talk about, and there's a few more people I want to talk about before I bring it all together. So that's definitely on the horizon. Keep listening for spiderweb releases, I guess.
Can I ask you a number that I think people are asking? How many do you think episodes total in number, roughly, do you think that we need before the spiderweb is revealed?
Oh, man.
Not that you have to do like the next 6. If it's 6, we're not going to do it in the next 6, mind you. But
yeah, I'm thinking 4 to 6.
4 to 6. Oh, I nailed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm thinking, and this is just off the top of my head.
Right.
I'm thinking 4 to 6 more episodes, and then the final.
Right, and then the
final
final
together.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I'm under a lot of stress about this spider web.
Yeah.
Because that final episode really has to pull it all together, and that's going to be me going back through all. God, it's got to be over 100 pages worth of notes.
Yeah.
To connect the dots, to build my murderer string. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
the string.
The thing that you see in cop or serial killer movies or whatever, where the cop is like trying to find out who it is, and he gets obsessed.
And there's
and
string
he has a murder wall.
Murder wall, yes.
Yeah, the murder wall.
To really connect my murder wall. So I'm under a lot of stress about that final show, but we'll get it together.
Yeah.
So probably 4 to 6 episodes about that. I really want to beef up Patreon, get a bunch of Patreon episodes in the bag done so I could release those monthly. Maybe sometimes 2 a month. We'll see how it goes, but I promise at least one Patreon-only episode for our second and third tier supporters.
Yeah, and they're pretty juicy. They're not bad. It's not like they're lower tier. They're just shorter. But they're like shorter cases or shorter like little ideas or addendums to main shows we've done. Like, for example, let's say we do a show. I'm trying to give an example to give potential Patreon members an idea of what they can expect. For example, like say we do, an episode on the Mandela Effect. We did one actually on the main show 2 years ago about.
Yep.
And there's an update about that.
There is.
We thought of updates. We thought of ways we can incorporate new information or maybe even a new theory or two into information we can delve out to you guys.
Yeah.
But it's shorter. So we put that as a bonus episode. So if you heard the previous main show Mandela Effect episode, the bonus episode, the Mandela Effect is suited well for that.
Yeah. It's coming out on Patreon.
It whets your appetite for more. So like that kind of thing we do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good. I really want to get into UFOs. I haven't really talked about, we've touched on it here and there, but really do a multi-part episode on just UFOs, starting with Roswell and
I see.
moving up to current, especially right now with Storm Area 51 and Tom DeLonge and To the Stars Academy. Tom DeLonge, of course, from Blink-182 and all the work he's doing in the field of ufology. There's so much to talk about right now, and it's such a hot topic current, so I want to cover it. I just don't even know how to fucking start, because it is a massive, massive topic.
And it must have a lot of branches.
It's the tentacles go every which way.
Like you could just go by eyewitness alone. That's a show. Like you could go by governmental oversight alone. That's one show. Like that's,
Yeah.
And they all cross each other constantly.
They do. And I don't want to do a 10-part episode because
Right.
you know how detailed I want to be always, and to do that and satisfy myself, I could see that being a 10 episode fucking release. And I don't want to do that, but I don't want to miss anything either. So I just can't figure out how to tackle it. But that's going to be on the horizon at some point.
What if the horizon of that, like maybe like if you do, let's say if we do, you do, because let's face it, this is your researching baby, more than likely anyway. If you do this, it could be like the next big series, because we're in the middle of a gigantic web of serial killer mystery thing that I don't know about either. I'm purposely not wanting to know. I'm watching. It's like Game of Thrones for me. I don't want spoilers. But this could be your next one after that. Like you could give yourself a break. We could do regular shows, and then whenever you want to start it, and start from there. And it doesn't have to be every week either. Everyone knows that you can have normal shows in between the main big.
That's true.
Top 10. You can still do both ways and not kill yourself.
That's true.
But then again, you always kill yourself, so it doesn't matter what topic it is.
Right.
Like in the end, you still stress. Is however you want to manage it. Or it's another way it could be fun with the alien stuff is that we could focus. I almost said fairest. Focus on like I don't know, maybe like locales. Maybe go by locales. Like focus on like an area, maybe not a state, that's too big. But like think of a town or a city or a landscape or the desert. Like this Mojave Desert. What does it have? What's like focus on destinations. Yeah. That way you can touch on a lot of places. Like, oh yeah, the government visited this place on this site and built their base at XYZ times. And then you can mention, oh, these are the eyewitnesses. And then you can mention aircraft carriers were whatever it is. Right. And that way you can touch on all the points that a well-rounded 10 huge episode thing would have, but you will round it in based on a place and a location.
That's an idea too, man.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to take it.
Yeah.
I just haven't wrapped my mind around how to do it effectively.
Yeah.
And not skimp on information for the listeners, So
yeah, for sure.
So that's an idea I have. Another person I would like to cover is someone we touched on very briefly in the adrenochrome episode. A woman named Kathy O'Brien from Michigan. Now, Kathy O'Brien is a MK Ultra Project Monarch survivor, supposedly. She is a high-level government whistleblower, and the stories she has about experiences she had about the people that, we'll just say, mistreated her, and that's putting it incredibly, incredibly lightly. Over the years, that list of people is fucking astounding. We're talking about presidents, religious figures, political figures, just astounding. And of course, we've talked about MK Ultra, we've talked about Project Monarch, we've talked about adrenochrome, we've talked about dissociative identity disorder and how these high-level handlers break a person in order to reprogram a person.
I just recently watched Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
And that movie was about that.
Exactly. Yeah.
MK Ultra. So
Kathy O'Brien is another one I would really like to talk about, to research, to discuss on this show. So that's just, three topics that I have in mind right now.
Yeah. And then, I also would like to, and I know it's hard for this year, maybe not for Christmas, but I would like to do a little bit of a theme in the calendar for the time of the year where we would be releasing shows. For example, maybe it'd be nice to do a fun April Fool's joke episode, or not Labor Day, but Christmas or Halloween, the top ones that we can really take advantage of. I know we've done it before.
We've done Christmas before.
With Minister Sal, right?
Correct.
We did one. Yeah, exactly. But the paganness of Christmas.
Yes.
We did a show about that, so that was very apropos. But we could do more others, my point. So
oh, definitely.
Yeah. That'd be nice to kind of do too.
I like that.
People like that
is
kind of
of
stuff.
cool. Yeah.
It's like in a sitcom again. People love the Christmas episodes or the Thanksgiving episodes. They always have one every year, right? And
Well,
it's
yeah,
always different.
let's pray on that. I like that idea a lot.
Like Community is, some of the best community episodes are like Halloween episodes.
Right.
like that.
Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
Right. Exactly.
And maybe we'll spatter them through main feed and Patreon as well.
Yeah.
Because
True.
I'll never forget our Patreon people.
Never.
So yeah. And I don't think I mentioned it's Supernatural Occurrence Studies Podcast on Patreon, or you could just go to our website, chicagoghostpodcast.com, click on follow, then click the Patreon link, and it'll take you right to us. Speaking of Patreon, I got a lot of merch in development right now for specials for our Patreon people, or people to entice people to join Patreon.
I heard just about this today. Actually.
Yeah, a couple cool things. I'm not going to say what they are right now. It'll be a surprise. But so check us out on Patreon. Help support. So there you go. For the person who asked the question, any what's coming up in the future? Whatever.
Oh, that was a long answer.
That was a really long answer. There you go. There's your answer. Some stuff on the deck. What else do we got here? Which episode has been your favorite / most memorable to record?
Two different answers probably, but you're going to go first on this one.
Okay. I don't have a single answer, so I'm sorry, listener, who asked that question. I don't have a single answer, but I really enjoyed recording the Ken Langley episode at Area 51. Ken Langley, Agent 0051, where we sat in this guy's house on the edge of Area 51 was his backyard. And he said that while we were there recording, Area 51 was recording us at the same time.
That's right. I remember that. Yes, I do. Yeah.
He said, if you take these binoculars and you look over on that hill right there, there's a camera pointed right at my house. So that was just a really intense, really good episode to record. Just being in the element, being at Area 51, basically, talking about aliens.
What's another really memorable one to record?
The Alien Cat House.
Definitely.
When we went to the House of Ill Repute, the Alien Cat House in Nevada, sitting there talking with, for example, Richard Hunter, the guy who found Lamar Odom, OD'd.
Yeah, Dick Hunter, right?
Dick Hunter, yeah. When he found Lamar Odom OD'd at one of Dennis Hoff's property, he told that story.
And about the guy who wanted a girl to appear dead as well.
Yeah,
that story, that was cool.
So
was crazy.
He told us that story about a customer of one of the brothels in the Dennis Hoff chain. That customer wanted to rape a dead or have sex with a dead body. And
right.
the girl
or at least simulated enough to be that.
Yes.
And then sued him for it.
And then sued him because the girl didn't act dead enough.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just podcasting gold. And then he also talked about the inner workings of a brothel.
Right.
I mean, just
killing a lot of stigmatism that might go into what people think they are like.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the movies, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then talking to two of the workers.
That's right.
Leilani and, God, what was the other one's name? The one where you were controlling her butt plug. While you were editing the show. Taylor Gates.
Yes.
That's right. What a fun show. It didn't turn out to be very paranormal, but man, it was podcasting gold. Yeah. People love that episode. I think it was episode 50.
I think so. Yeah, you made a big hubbub.
Yeah, because
you want to make a 50 like a big one, like a memorable one. I mean,
a memorable one, yeah. And it was memorable.
That. Yeah.
And those two girls were fantastic. Unfortunately, both girls are no longer at the Alien Cat House.
I imagine the turnaround is pretty high there.
Yeah, I don't know. We should ask that question. But that one was incredibly fun to record. We were sitting in the Cat House kitchen.
That's right. We recorded in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's right.
So those two just really stick in my mind as being most fun to record. How about for you?
To record, I would say the Don't Drink and Podcast.
Oh, when I first moved into this house.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
That night, yep.
That night,
what a mess.
There's so many people because we also had other people there too. Like, no, it wasn't just those four, right?
That's right. No, like my mom was there,
and then
a couple of my cousins were there.
Right. I don't know if
the four of us were there. Yeah, they're cousins.
Yeah, and I was just, trying to corral you guys. It was funny. It was fun for me too, but like trying to keep everyone like fucking eat the mic, and yelling at whatever the fuck I was saying. And
we were so drunk.
Yeah,
so drunk.
Yeah, I remember that one. I also remember. One of the ones, for some reason, I remember this one. One of the ones we recorded in my garage. I remember hearing the crickets a lot in the background of that show too. I don't remember what we talked about, but I remember Dave, and he brought bagels, and we were just really munching on those bagels while we were recording. I remember.
Yeah.
Memorable for me, I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah, let's see. There's a few others though, for sure. I know I don't have like a straight up answer either. The Cat House, obviously. Jay stole my thunder there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's obviously really memorable.
Let's talk about that, Oscar.
I really like that. No, I really like the. You know what? The one the highway one.
The highway one.
The Area 51 on the highway.
Is that when we actually saw something in the sky?
Yes, that's the one we were freaking out. We were freaking out.
I think that's either in the Nevada podcast wrap-up episode.
Oh, you think so?
Or it's in the one we call Dial 51 for the operator.
I think that's the one.
Was that the one?
I think so.
Where we played our reaction to what we were seeing in the sky?
We were in the car and we
happening.
stopped, and then we were looking, and we were freaked out. We were watching us. We were running back and forth through the highway. It was empty.
Yeah.
It was so dead.
Yeah. Never saw the Milky Way ever until that day.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we never get to see that shit. It was so good. It was so nice. It was the best time in the desert for me. I remember enjoying that.
That's so cool.
That was really cool for me.
Dude, we get to do that for the show. How cool is that?
That was so cool.
Any other ones you want to mention?
No, I'm sure there are others, but I can't right now think of any.
Okay. Well, the next question, so that was...
It was a two-parter question, right? Because one was memorable, but what was...
Yeah, favorite/memorable to record.
Got it.
Now, the next question, it was the same Instagram person. What's your favorite episode? Period. So what was your favorite to record? And then what is your favorite episode overall?
Dark Side of the Forest, Part A and Part B.
Don't go into the forest.
Don't go in the forest.
Part A and Part B.
Or is it Beware the Forest?
Oh, yeah. Beware the forest. Side A, Side B.
The missing 411 stuff was so much fun to think about. It was so much fun to theorize about. The information was crazy. I love that stuff. That, Adrenochrome, and the 33rd Parallel, sorry.
Okay.
Are like my favorites in topic. I love that shit. It was so juicy.
Awesome. Let's see. It's so hard because, each one of them is like my baby.
Yeah, right. It's like, which is your favorite child, right?
Right, exactly. I put so much time and effort into researching and compiling my story. I love them all. Now, I'll be the first to admit we have good episodes and we have bad episodes. I would love to go through our archive and purge ones I'm not hot on, but I'm not going to.
I say we have good episodes and less good episodes.
There you
not
go.
Bad.
I love it. Good way to put it. But I really enjoyed how the Gacy podcast came out.
Oh yeah, the bells
with the bells at the end. Yes, very very creepy. I really like the Ken Langley interview.
Yeah,
I like the Alien Cat House interview. I like the Mandela Effect episode. I think that was episode 22.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my
I listened to that again recently, and for that bonus we did, preparation for it.
Oh,
and
cool.
Lexi was on that one too.
Was she in that one?
Yeah.
Cool.
We hadn't thought of her name yet for Lexi Raven at the time.
The only thing I don't like about that episode is the Mandela Effect episode 22 is the intro with Dave.
I don't remember what was that.
It's just way too fucking long.
Oh, I remember it was being long. I just remember
nonsense,
what it was about exactly.
And that plays into a question that we got, but it's later in the list here. So those are some of my favorites. I also really enjoyed Zodiac. I really enjoyed Charles Manson, that 3-part episode on Manson. So I can't pinpoint just one because, like you said, Oscar, which is your favorite child? Just can't answer it.
Yeah, I know no one asked this question. At least I don't think so. I mean, maybe someone did. But what's the worst?
Worst episode.
What do you think is the worst one?
I would say for me, it is the Elsa Gate conspiracy episodes, part 1 and 2.
Why?
Dave.
Oh.
Period. Dave.
Okay. I don't remember his. I remember liking what you said about.
Oh, I love the topic.
Yeah,
I love the way it came out.
I don't remember what he said. I guess I have to listen again.
Yeah, go back and listen how combative Dave was. And listen, I don't mind dissension. I don't mind people disagreeing with me. Everyone has their own opinion. I love it. But when you will not stop on that opinion and you try to undermine what we're trying to do, that's a problem.
Right.
And matter of fact, I would love to go back and record those episodes without him because I think they're good topics. I think it's solid research.
Well, I definitely think that episodes should also retouch on some of the stuff we talked about already for sure.
Yeah.
We could redo some in a better way or with more information.
Yeah.
for me is that one when we went to in Wisconsin. We drove around looking for
the Beast of Bray Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was nothing. It was just driving, and I don't remember much of it. I just remember like a lot of nothing. You know?
So there are two shining moments in that episode. One, I have to say, I think I put a good preface to the story, to the episode with the story of the Beast of Bray Road. I did quite a bit of research on what it is and told some stories. I liked that part. And I liked when Dave and Joe went into the bar. Oh, I think you were with them too.
Oh, yeah.
Went into the
that part was
bar
fine.
and conducted some interviews. That was good. But everything in the middle was garbage.
Yeah, I mean, but even that one was like, oh my God, it was so tedious to get information from people. Everyone was so standoffish. And I remember Jojo was with us.
Jojo, yeah, I sat in the car with Jojo because he's
well,
too
he
young.
went to the bar too. It was just hilarious. The lady trying to get him out. And,
right. Didn't she kick him out? Because he wound up in the car with me.
Yes, he did. Yeah, that's fine. And
you're right. I forgot about that one.
But I remember my favorite part of that for sure was talking to, I think it was a couple, older couple. Like looks like that's their regular like watering hole.
Yeah.
And we were in the back smoking, and then we were just like talking about their experiences.
Yeah, we got it on tape, right?
Dave got some of it, but they for sure talked to me. He was talking to others, so like I probably got a few stories that wasn't on the tape. But yeah, that was cool. That was probably the best part for me.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's just like I was looking for some. It was like a failure, but we found other things to do. Yeah.
Good. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm not very happy with the way that came out overall, but
it's all right.
You have good ones, you have but less good ones, like you said.
There's a spectrum.
Cool. All right, this one was kind of fun. What do you think of Norse? What do you think of Norse mythology? Any experiences to share? So Norse mythology. What do you think of it? Any experiences to share? So I'll start by saying I don't know much about Norse mythology at all.
Right.
I know Thor. I know Loki. And that's about it, right? I've seen imagery. The imagery is cool. The pictures of all the gods, that's awesome.
Right.
But I don't know much about it. How about you?
Well, I never read a book about them. I've always been a little curious, sometimes more than often, but obviously not curious enough to actually crack a book about it yet. I mean, I've done it with a lot of other cultures and tribes and stuff, but not them yet. Very interested, but besides what we know about Thor and Loki, the only thing I really know is that show Vikings, which is, I think, on the History Channel.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it?
I have, yeah.
The reason I started watching that show is not because it's about Vikings necessarily. It's because it was made by this guy. It's one of the very few shows, not in existence, but yeah, probably in existence maybe, that is completely written, and because shows are made by the writers. And it was written by one person only, and not a team of writers. So it was made by this one guy who is a historian.
Oh.
And he's like a historian first and a screenwriter second. And he started writing for this other show. I think it was The Tudors. I'm not 100%. But I know that his accuracy, his penchant for being accurate and probably like heavily into research. So, you know, a little J thing there. He started writing his passion project show for Vikings, and they gave him the green light to make Vikings. So it's just a completely fabricated show. But like everything, like their customs supposed to be super accurate, the way they handle things and the way their religion worked, things like that. Supposedly very accurate for a show that is about, you know, things that we don't know for sure, you know. So like, and it's like a historian is writing all these screenplays, right, and scripts and stuff. And I've always liked that idea.
Nice.
I stopped watching the show. The show ended, I think, last year, but I saw the first 3 seasons, and I don't know why I fell off it. I think it got away from me. But I would like to revisit it for sure and catch up. But I really like that show. But that's all I know, and it's not much. I know that they're crazy for sure, like to conquer people, but but I don't know about their mythology so much.
Well,
you know.
Okay. So to piggyback on yours, the TV show that I found interesting that deals with that mythology is American Gods.
Oh fuck yeah, that's right. I've seen that too. I've seen that too.
Showtime, right?
Yeah, no, on Stars.
Stars, right. Love the show.
Great show.
And according to one of my best friends, Minister Sal, who's been on the show a few times, who is a practicing heathen, that there was so much accuracy written into American Gods. So I have that, I guess. as far as Norse mythology and what I know about it.
Yeah,
maybe
like the
from
way they
TV
show
shows.
jinns, the way they show they combine a lot. Shiva was in there in season 2
with
It's
the
like a lot-
Mjolnir and
Yeah,
the
Mjolnir.
Cadillac being, I want to say it's like Thor's horse, but I'm probably wrong. But
Yeah.
the Cadillac was a horse, and I mean that's all
Right.
taken straight from this line of mythology.
Right.
But now the second part of his question was, do I have any experience, or do we have any experience with it? And I do have experience with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember this, Oscar, but last October, a group of heathens, or more specifically, Norse pagans,
Mm-hmm.
did a hammer setting ceremony at my house during a party for Minister Sal's birthday. And again, Minister Sal, oldest friend of mine, and he's been on the show a number of times. So, I have a big backyard, So Minister Sal asked me if he could host a heathen party at my house for his birthday. And of course I said, yeah. And then I asked him, how the fuck do you set up for a heathen party? I wanted to make these people feel welcome at my home.
Yeah.
So he goes to me, he's like, just have a lot of fire and alcohol. And I'm like, cool, I could do that. Now, just so you know, the alcohol, when he said just have fire and alcohol, was for something called a symbel. That's Symbel, a symbel, or the passing of drink, a community thing during a pagan fest or a banquet. And the fire he requested was for something to do with Loki, the fire god.
Mm-hmm.
So, I set up everything. I had fire, I had alcohol. The heathens came. Really, really cool people, by the way, just awesome, down-to-earth people. And they did what's called a hammer ceremony. Now, a hammer ceremony is used to call on Thor, the god of thunder, to bless the homestead or your area, or in my case, our party, in order to remove evil. It's a way to project the hammer of Thor, known as Mjolnir, into the universe around you to help protect the space from, like I said, evil and chaos and any distracting intrusions. Okay. Now, during the hammer ceremony, a Gothi, which is kind of like, for lack of a better word, a priest, he recited at my house verses from a book called The 9 Doors of Midgard. And he blessed the 6 directions, north, south, east, west, up and below, above and below, while he was holding a hammer. It was a really cool ceremony. It was nighttime, mid-October, so it was chilly out. I had fires lit everywhere in the yard. Everyone was totally silent, and this Gothi was holding a hammer and reciting these ancient rituals in Icelandic and English. And it was really pretty surreal, and it was cool.
It sounds really cool, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, during this ceremony, so it was mid-October, I had a fog machine, okay, to kind of, every once in a while you hit a trigger, and the only way to trigger this machine is by a remote trigger. And it would kind of cast fog across the yard. So I had fire, I had fog, you know what I mean? I really did it up for these guys. And girls. And during the ceremony, when everyone was silent, got the flickering fire all over the yard, this guy's reading in Icelandic and English, these ancient texts, all of a sudden that fucking smoke machine went off on its own, and it smoked the yard. And it was just the strangest thing. I looked over, I had it sitting on my pool, and I looked over at the machine, I looked over at Katie, and she shrugged her shoulders like, I don't fucking know. And I had the remote sitting on a little table I had set up. No one pressed it, but it went off on its own.
Crazy.
It was so creepy, but just great people. So to answer this listener's question, yeah, I don't know about it, but I do have experience with this hammer setting ceremony. The heathens did over here, the Norse pagans that came by. That's how we get down here.
That's really cool. That's way more than I thought you said. Did I not get this invite?
I don't know. Well,
I'm
again,
messing with you. No, I know it wasn't my party.
It wasn't my party either. To be honest, it wasn't. It was all for him and his friends.
That would have been cool as fuck to watch, though. But no, yeah, I never heard of that. I missed that. Yeah,
yeah, and
that's cool.
I do enjoy what he tells me about his religion. This Norse paganism thing. I like the connection to the earth. I like the calling on old gods. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
But so because of that, and actually Minister Sal is becoming a Gothi.
Oh, yeah.
For lack of a better word, a priest. You can't put Catholic terms onto a heathen thing. It's not, but a Gothi is kind of like a priest, for lack of a better word, right?
Right.
He's becoming one, and an ordained Gothi, I guess you could say. Again, not trying to put Christian terms, but he's had to do intense amounts of studying, and there's tests and all this stuff to become an actual Gothi. So
Good.
I said, once he becomes, let's do something here. I asked him if there's any sort of pagan holiday in November, and I'm waiting for a reply because I said, let's do another one. Let's do another ceremony here. It was really cool. Is that weird?
No, it's hella badass.
And this time you're coming.
Fuck yeah, tell me. Yes, I would love to come.
Cool.
That sounds badass.
So, listener, there's your answer.
I am so curious about that kind of stuff. I mean, if I'm closest to anything, it's something like pagan, not necessarily Norse, but like some sort of version of that. I know that Alexi will call herself that for sure.
Pagan, yeah,
like paganism or like witchery or
Wicca. Yeah.
But like more for real, like she's studying Reiki and all the stuff, like I said earlier. But like, I mean, I'm not saying I need like a label or classification, but it's something like atheistic, pagan, something like that for me.
Yeah,
so that's my feelings on it.
No, let's talk to Minister Sal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So they're like I said, they're really cool. It's very, I think, inclusive. They don't shun anybody away because there's some big. It's not the winter solstice. It's something else to do with winter that they celebrate. And he's like, we're doing it in November. Why don't you come out and join us? And I'm like, yeah, but aren't I an outsider? Like, I'm a Catholic. And he's like, dude, they don't care. They accept anybody. Anybody could come and join,
right.
or come in and observe, right?
Right, observe.
So I might do it.
Yeah, well, you saw Midsommar, so
I did see Midsommar.
They invited anyone too. Look what happened to them.
They got their fucking face smashed in with a hammer.
Yeah,
they gleefully threw themselves off cliffs. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, they're not like that. But.
No, I know that's an extreme, and it's a movie. So.
And it's a movie, right? So, all right. Moving on. Have you had any UFO or alien encounters or experiences?
I mean, yes to all those questions.
Yes and yes. Do you want to tell yours? Or?
Yeah, well, mine is first started, and I mentioned the story when we did the Area 51 and Nevada trip, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned it maybe at some other point because we've asked this question to ourselves before, but I'll mention it again in case. The stories that I first, this is when I started, when I believed in aliens for sure, no matter what, and it hasn't changed since then. I saw when I was a boy, maybe like preteen. I used to go to Mexico more often with my family to visit and stuff. And one of those family members had like a family member that I don't know, like a distant relative. We're Mexicans. We're everywhere. And I could not tell you the person's name. But we went to this guy's ranch. And that's where like I milked a cow for the first time and only time, by the way, and things like that. It was great. I rode a horse for the first time. Like a lot of firsts that time. And I was at this ranch at night. We were just drinking the best milk ever, literally. And we were just at night out there, and the stars are humongously beautiful, as you can imagine. I didn't appreciate it at that age, but I remember the visual in my head, and I appreciate it now. And as we all communally saw these two lights, that were like, I think maybe my memory serves, which could be altered a little bit, mind you, but they all saw it with me, so I know that the gist of it is very true. But I think my memory has them as a like more of extra yellow, like they were a little yellower than the rest of the stars.
Okay,
and they were like from across the expanse of the sky as we were looking at it. They started moving towards each other. These two lights, and then we were just noticing it, like, are they going to crash? What's going on? We were always saying all these stuff, right? All of us, the adults, my parents, everyone. And when they got close together, right before they crashed, they moved away from each other. They like literally curved around each other.
Damn.
Noticeably curved, and then went the opposite ends.
How close do you think they were?
I don't know. I mean, they must have been that. But also, how far away are they really? I don't know.
Right.
My spatial whatever. I don't.
Yeah, there's nothing to judge by up in the horizon.
Right. I can't tell how far away they were, how close they were actually in reality to each other up there or out there. Maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe they were in our skies and they're smaller than we think, and they just mirrored. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. But there was clearly intelligence in it because they were the way they moved away from each other.
That's
it wasn't like a falling star or something. And they were moving too slow for a falling star, honestly. So they're moving at rapid. I mean, it was probably fast to them up there.
Yeah.
But to us, we saw it's like a plane, right? You think of a plane. It looks slow the way it's moving, but it's moving fast. Right?
Yeah.
It's like that.
But plus, falling stars and shooting stars, they don't last that long.
No, they don't.
They fizz out pretty quick.
It was a good like 2 minutes or a minute of it, maybe.
Holy shit.
Like a minute, probably. Maybe exactly.
So you think that was UFOs?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It has to be. That was the first time, and obviously I've always believed, and then we saw our shit at Area 51.
Yes.
Got our shit blown.
On ET Highway, that's right.
Yeah.
So that was your second experience.
My second for real one. I mean, there are other times where, like, in the corner of my eye, I think I see something, like, many years later. Not too many, but many years later, I was, like, maybe 17, 16. I probably met you by then, Jay. Maybe 19, at most 19, because I know it was in my teens. I went back to Mexico again, and we climbed the mountains. We climbed some mountains out there. We've done a lot of that before. Well, by climbing, I mean, we rode up as high as possible, and we traversed the area, on foot to see everything. But and it's great stuff. Obviously, very beautiful, all like kept in its present form.
Yeah.
And I always like in the corner of my eye, sometimes in the sky, it feels like I would sense something strange or like see something curve weird. But I don't know. They're not for sure. Not as for sure as our Area 51 excursion and that time when I was at that ranch. Those are the two clearest ones. So those few I can say for sure. The rest are maybes.
Okay. But you're definitely a believer.
Yes.
Were you going to say something about Lexi?
No, Lexi has one too. She had her own experience when she went out with friends, when her Wicca type friends that, they didn't turn out so determined about it. But when they used to go out at night and stuff, she said she had a extraterrestrial experience. I don't remember the details. You're going to have to ask her.
Yeah. Okay.
But she told me one time. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, for me, obviously, being out on ET Highway that one night, where we all, well, at least the three of us, me, you, and Joe Erie.
Jesus Christ, I know Dave.
Fucking Dave, of course. Yeah. We were all just, like you said, minds blown about what we were seeing in the sky. This ball of light clearing the entire horizon in a matter of seconds. And I don't know, end to end, when you see a horizon, what is that, 1,000 fucking miles? I mean,
I don't know.
As the crow flies, as they say.
As the crow flies, yeah.
But this thing, whatever it was clearing that entire expanse of horizon in a matter of seconds. It was doing acrobatics, like figure eights.
It was so cool.
Yeah, dropping forward, dropping back, dropping up, dropping down.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then, do you remember the mountains around Area 51 would all of a sudden light up?
Yeah.
Like a silent explosion?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck.
And it did it like rhythmically, and sometimes not rhythmically. Yeah. So it was like,
oh my God.
It had patterns to it, but then it didn't. It was so strange.
Yes. And we were all seeing it, me, you, and Joe, but Dave, no, couldn't do it. Couldn't see it. And again, we mentioned this earlier, but listeners, go back in our archive. One of those Nevada releases, we played our embarrassing reaction to what we were seeing. I mean, we were just...
Yeah, we were just driving. We were driving, trying to see the lights follow it some way. We were driving and talking, driving not to kill jackrabbits. It was very hectic.
Yeah.
Very hectic.
And Dave's like, come on, let's pull over. I'm like, dude, it's 3 a.m. or whatever it was. I want to get to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I think we were coming back from the Clown Motel.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember.
Tonopah, and I wanted to get back to Alamo, and it was like 100 and something miles, and it was late. I was tired, but he convinced us to pull over, and I'm so glad we did.
Yes,
because we saw that thing.
Yeah.
And then I remember another time. Long story short, I was driving south on Cumberland Avenue in Chicago, heading home. It was around Cumberland and Irving. There's a section of forest preserve there. And it was late at night. It could have been 11:30, 12, midnight. And off to my right, in those woods, this thing came up and out of the trees, and it took off into the sky. I swear to God.
Yeah.
And I flew home, and I ran into the house, and I told my girlfriend at the time, who was living with us, and my ma, hey, this is what I just saw, and we need to go out and try to find this thing. So we run out of the house, we jump in one of our cars, and we start heading to Franklin Park, because it looked like it was going off in the direction of Franklin Park. And we're in Franklin Park, and we're driving around, looking in the sky, and we see it. And it was this big, kind of looked like a cruise ship in the sky, okay? And people are saying, oh, it's a blimp. It wasn't a fucking blimp. It was not a blimp that took off out of those woods. So I had a disposable camera on me, because, we were in the thick of doing ghost stuff all the time. So I always had a camera on me. So I had this disposable 35 millimeter camera, And I stopped the car, I got out, and I tried taking pictures of this thing. And of course, it was just too far up in the sky. I couldn't get anything discernible on the film when it came back. I didn't catch anything worthwhile. But while we were out there, we saw a cop sitting on the side of the road by a stop sign. So I jump back in the car, and we drive towards this cop, and I pull a U-turn and park right behind him. And I get out, and I'm like, hey, man, I just want to ask you a question. This is going to sound so crazy. And I go, has there been any reports of anything strange in the sky above Franklin Park this evening? And he goes, you know what? Normally I'd tell you to get the fuck out of here. But actually, we have been getting calls into the station of people saying that they see something in the sky.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know what it is. I know it's not a blimp, because if blimp flies over airspace, I guess whoever controls that blimp, whatever company, has to contact the local authorities and let them know, hey, we're flying some shit over your airspace. Don't worry about it. You know? And plus, this is real close to O'Hare Airport too, so that's someone would know if there was a blimp in the sky. And this cop said they were never notified of anything like that.
Right.
And he just basically said, we don't know what it is. And obviously we've lost sight of it, never seen it again. So
yeah,
that was a fucking UFO. What I saw come out of that wood, those woods, it was a fucking UFO.
Yeah.
It was sort of disc-shaped. It had a lot of lights around it.
Yeah.
I wasn't drinking. I don't do drugs. So I was coming home from work, man, and I saw this thing. I swear to God.
There's been many strange experiences that could be, it could be those things. That's very solid, though. That's hella solid. But like, it's insane how much we catch, but we don't see. Like we see so much out there communally, but we don't see enough still. So I don't know. It's so strange.
Yeah.
I know Joe has his own stories because he's
got a lot of them. Yeah.
He's been in the airport a lot of times.
Yes.
As vague as I could put it. And, and I think Dave doesn't have any stories, right?
I can't remember if Dave has seen a UFO or not.
I know he believes in them because it's logically speaking, how can you not believe in them, right?
Right.
Now, whether or not they're here, he would argue maybe not, right? But that's where he gets all like Scully, right? Call him.
Yeah.
He gets
Scully, yeah.
Gets all Scully about it. But man, I don't know. I think there's definitely more eye-opening stuff out there for us to like open our minds to and admit, rather than like, forget about it or dismiss it as like a weather balloon or something stupid for 50 years and then like regret it later. Like, yeah, a lot of people are more easy to admit it, which means a lot of false positives too, by the way, a lot of false information for sure. But
that's true.
It also means that we get to see more of them regardless. So
good.
It's not a bad time overall to be in for alien stuff.
Not at all. No, now is the time for sure.
Yeah.
All the stuff that's coming out right now.
And technology being the way it is, very nice and handy. Yeah, I concur.
Cool. This fucking the person who wrote this one.
Oh, okay.
Question. Are you and Oscar gay?
We're happy.
We're very happy.
Yeah.
Usually.
No, I think he means the other definition of that.
I do too.
Okay.
No, Oscar and I are not gay.
Quite not.
We both have significant others that we love very much.
With vaginas.
Not with vaginas. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but Oscar and I are not gay.
Never even experimented. When I could have, too.
Oh.
Because I've had guys hit on me many times.
Well, wait a minute. Now, so, I mean, I think I have too, but yeah, never even came close. Mm-hmm. Never even came close. Have friends that are gay. Totally cool. Don't give a fuck.
You know, it's funny. I'm going to mention something right now, Jay, and maybe you'll remember it differently this time. If I remember correctly.
Uh-oh.
I remember your stand. When we used to work at the restaurant where we both met.
Yeah.
I adamantly said and felt and still think to this day that one of the servers who worked there for a brief, it wasn't that long of a time, but he was there for a few months, let's say. I forgot his name. Hit on me. And he was a very cute server that a lot of girls liked.
Yeah.
And I adamantly said, after the fact, obviously after he wasn't around or anything, I didn't say it to his face, but like he definitely was hitting on me. He was complimenting me left and right.
Really?
Like he was about to buy me a lobster dinner and expecting me to put out like that kind of level of, to quote Seinfeld. But yeah, you don't remember me telling you the story?
I don't.
And then I don't remember if it was you though. It was either I thought it was you, but maybe not. It was you or someone else. I know some of the girls defended him so hard because I said it, told them like this guy's fucking gay. He's fucking hitting on me.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, he's not. He's just being very, like, he's not. They were really defending him and giving me all these points. Like, he's not gay. Everyone thinks he's gay, but he's not. Trust me. He's my best friend. I'm like, I don't care. He told me this stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I remember thinking that they were crazy for making me think that he's not gay when he clearly was.
That is funny. All right. So let me ask you, when he was hitting on you
Mm-hmm.
and two and two, came together in your head, what did you feel? How did you feel?
Oh, it was
about
very awkward. I back then I wasn't, like I said earlier, I wasn't as gregarious and open mouthed as the way I am now.
Yeah.
My opinions were not known to anyone, even myself, honestly. So like, perfect time to experiment, if anything. But no, I never. I was just awkward and shy and felt uncomfortable.
So you weren't flattered or anything like that?
No, I mean after the fact, I was hella flattered.
Okay.
Like once I thought
that's
about
honest.
it,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I can be flattered by that. That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
fine with me.
I've had guys hit on me before. It's flattering.
And
Nothing wrong with
honestly,
that.
other times when guys have been a little too strong, and I have to actually like say something, like, "Can you, stop it? That's enough. I'm clearly not interested. Don't give a shit about you."
Wow.
When I have to say something, I usually say like, "I had a chance to be with someone way prettier than you, and I said no." Because I think of that guy,
That'll
that server.
get 'em. Gotcha.
That's what I say to them.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, usually I get hit on by a lot of, I don't know if it's cross-dressers or transvestites or trans, or a combination of, in Boys Town. Because I used to go there a lot to drink.
Yeah.
And with friends and shit. Some gay, some not gay friends. Who cares?
Yeah.
And I used to go there a lot, and it was a fun time. But a lot of people, oh my God, hit on me. So many people.
Look at you.
And I thought it was obvious. Like
a little heartbreaker, you.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you did mention that you had a chance to participate in such festivities. What's that about?
Festivities. That's what you would call it, huh?
Well, what
You
would
think
you
there's
call
fireworks
it?
in the
Gay
background?
sex? I mean, what do you want me to say?
Just fucking. That's all it
Fucking.
is.
Just fucking. Okay.
Yeah.
So where did you find yourself when this was an opportunity?
Oh, no. What I meant that when I said that, when I tell people like to fuck off by saying that, I meant with that server. Like if I had my chance, I would have been with that prettier person than you.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Misunderstood you. Gotcha.
So I said that story to preempt what I was going to say. But no, I've been in in my sexual lifetime, I've been in some situations where I probably could have if I wanted to. Not to be too explicit. My girlfriend does listen to this, but
Right, yeah.
I she knows a lot of it though. She knows, she's been through the fucking block too. But like, yeah, like I would be in a house or something, and suddenly there's multiple partners around doing things, and yeah, we probably could have mix and match, or someone could have approached. That could have been a guy, things like that. None of that really happened, mind you, but like that's how close it was.
Yeah,
pretty close to other men on men stuff.
Wow.
Yeah,
never been in that predicament before.
No,
Nope.
not you, not once.
Not once.
Do you ever notice when guys hit on you?
Yes.
I'm sure it's not one time. I'm sure you've had.
No. It's happened.
Yeah.
It's happened. And like I said, I was flattered about it, but that's not me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, I think it would just go down. If I was hard when they asked me, like if I was with a girl or something,
yeah,
I think it would just go right down.
Okay.
That's how much I'm not interested at all.
Yeah. No. So Oscar
it's just
and I-
totally normal and fine. But I'm saying, that's how I feel.
Yeah. And so to answer the question, no, we're not gay. Now, we have had people write the website before complaining about gay jokes on the show.
Oh, yes, we have.
From Joe Erie.
Specifically.
And
he might be a little gay. It might be one of those inert things that he's fighting too hard on. He protests too much.
Yeah. So, we don't obviously do that. I should not have let that happen with Joe Erie. So if the listener's still out there.
I really try to corral him. On the show, you've heard me try to tell him to shut up.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So we don't have anything against.
No, of course not. I know.
Moving on.
No.
All right. What's at the center of the serial killer web you talk about on the podcast?
Yeah.
What's at the center of the serial
I
killer
don't know.
web?
Yeah. Are you going to tell us the answer?
I am not going to tell the answer to that one.
Good.
I've alluded to it, I think, in certain ways, but I'm not releasing that at all. So, sorry, listener. This one. This is more of a comment.
Okay.
Well, no, comment and question, I guess. Enough of Jason and Oscar. Are Joe and Dave coming back?
Oh.
Fuck.
Can I take a break, Jay? Can we just have the other two do it for a while?
Oh, it would be run to the ground in 24 hours.
Oh, yeah, it would be. It would be.
Although the Mental Detectors thing that they did, that little spin-off show, did get some positive reviews. No negative reviews.
Right.
At all.
Good.
So, enough of Jay and Oscar. When are Dave and Joe coming
Prefer
back?
Josker, but
Oh, how do I answer this one? So obviously, Dave and Joe are our brothers, right, Oscar?
Yeah.
I mean, there are.
Well, I also assume the person asking is probably being catty about it. Just like,
Yeah, I don't know. There's no.
look, enough of you guys. Can we? Where's
Maybe.
Maybe not. Maybe serious or she or it.
Yeah, you're tired of our voices. Go listen to. I don't know, Helen Gone for a while or Red Handed. Those are two great podcasts that cover some of the topics we talk about, specifically killers and shit. So if you're tired of our voices, go listen to that for a while, then come back. But Dave and Joe, so they're still obviously part of Supernatural Occurrence Studies. They're still up on the website. They're still our brothers in arms. I've already kind of touched on Dave. Love him to death, but he's very hard to deal with on the show. When you dedicate so much time, resources, money, whatever, to putting something together like this, that listeners enjoy. To have someone come on and just beat it to death is very, it's hard to deal with. Will Dave be back on the show? I don't know. Maybe a guest appearance here and there. I would like him to be on the show if he could contain himself and not undermine everything we're trying to do.
Or as a mental detectors thing, too.
Or does his separate mental detectors thing, right. If he could just come on and disagree and move on and let the story, unravel, I got no problem with it, man. Like I said, disagree with me, that's fine. But when you go on and on and on about it, it just distracts from the story. And then it gets me aggravated and I'm not performing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
It's nothing against, we don't hate Dave or anything. It's just, it's very difficult. And as far as Joe Erie, Joe Erie has a life. He's got a career. He's got a band that he treats like a business. So he's very, strict with practice and rehearsals and all that stuff and recording and things. So it's very hard for him to get out and research and dedicate, 4 or 5 hours here and there to record a podcast. And again, it's nothing against Joe. It's just, I have to keep the show rolling every 2 weeks. Every Monday, if something has to come out, and it's got to be good. And it just doesn't jive with his calendar very often. So I really wanted at least Joe on this 100th episode, but again, with calendars, we just couldn't make it happen. So you will probably hear more from Joe in 2020 than you will Dave Black, but both are welcome, just with a little caveat with Dave Black.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to answer that question?
I think more than good, yeah. I mean, like I said,
what's your thought on it? What's your thought?
We have
as the producer, right, who has to edit that shit and corral.
Right.
What's your thought on what I said?
Well, I mean, editing-wise, it's definitely easier without them because of some of the inappropriate humor that can come out, or not even like inappropriate, like that's in bad form. I mean, like inappropriate, like they keep interrupting a point. And maybe I'll cut out a little section just so the point can keep going.
Yeah, you have to do shit like that. Right. Because that's not fair to you.
Right. Well, no, it's not. That's fine. I mean, if I'm saying it's better not to have to do that. Is my point. Yeah, because if I just keep everything in, I know I seem like I keep everything in, but I really don't. And because it's gotta sound like it's flowing. It can't just stop, even for a joke. It can't just stop if it stops the train.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it has to keep moving. So those reasons for sure. The Dave thing, like for some reason, like the longer he goes on, like if he's saying a story or if he's explaining a theory or explaining himself, sometimes if he goes on too long, not unlike Joe, maybe not unlike myself for other listeners, but I mean, I like my own voice. They like after 10 minutes straight or something, it can get pretty dull sometimes, and I want to like keep it moving, keep the blood flowing, kind of sometimes. So I kind of feel like. Yeah, some of that should be corralled a bit. And I try my best. We try our best.
We do. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
And a 4-man show overall is just, double harder. It's just harder than 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And frankly, we've gotten such positive reviews of it just being us. If the equation, if the formula works, why break it? So there's the answer to that. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys really enjoy podcasting? Was something we got, and really was in all caps.
Oh, all caps? Okay. I thought it might be in italics.
Do you guys really enjoy podcasting? Do you want to go first, or should I?
You.
Yes and no. being honest, right? Sometimes I
Please.
fucking hate podcasting because I put so much pressure on myself to try to deliver a good product that the listeners will enjoy and will share or talk about or reference in conversation. I'm always thinking as the listener, what would I want to know? Am I going deep enough? Would I want to know more about this topic? Where do I find more information about this topic? What's reliable? What's bullshit? It's a lot of fucking stress. And I'm in my own head,
Yeah.
Charles Manson, the perfect example. I got some comments on our YouTube version of that episode. Well, you didn't talk about this, and you completely missed the point that this is connected to that, and that's in that. And I wrote back, I'm like, I know. I had to pick and choose. Otherwise, it would be a 20-episode topic, because those tentacles of the Manson family are so stretched and so deep, and they curl into everything, and they touch so many other topics, and it's impossible.
Right. Yeah. No, you can't, and plus you can't please everyone.
You cannot please everyone. I try. One of my tactics is if I find something, if I find a name, if I find a location, if I find, something like that. While researching, I always try to go 3 layers deep on that little bit of information I found. So if it was a name, well, who is this person? What's their background? Who are they connected to, right? If it's a location, well, what was on that location before? And who are those people? And what were those people's connections? And you find so much interesting shit when you just keep digging, So I always try to go 3 layers deep. And it's not easy. A lot of these episodes, I have at least 15 pages of notes or a script that I've compiled. Some of them are 20s, more. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and sometimes I wind up hate doing the research because of the stress that comes along with it.
Hate watching a show or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hate watching a show, hate research, But on the opposite side of the coin there, I feel what's the word I'm looking for? I feel committed to the listeners. I can't stop. We talked about this on one episode, which is why I hired a research assistant who I haven't used in a little while. Sorry, Jessica. But, I'm enslaved to the listeners almost. I don't want to let them down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah. That's part of it. It's like, for example, I did film school and I've done some projects here and there, not much. Trust me, you can never find my shit anywhere. But what I've done is that it's always for the audience. You play to an audience, always, and it's never for you. Once it's done, it's released. It's not yours.
Yeah,
that's the way we think of it. I'm not saying this is exactly that, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
But this is. I don't know. I guess we're segueing into me right now, and it's a love-hate in different ways for sure. Like I feel like your reasons, a lot of the reasons that comes behind this is really what inspires me to keep going, because I wish I had the level of commitment you do. And I feel like many times, very, very obviously, inadequate to meet your level. I'm not saying I'm competing with you, but I feel like I want to sometimes, in a good way, to challenge myself to maybe like aspire to do something crazy. Like we mentioned earlier in one of the other questions about topics where I may bring up a show into the table instead of just you, right?
Right.
And that's just me trying to flex my muscles a bit on something that I'm not very good at, obviously. But I want to do that because, I said earlier to lighten the load for you, but really I want to do it to see if I could try to commit to the show more.
Right.
In a more substantial way. Because I feel, obviously, many times really inadequate. Like, oh my God, I have 3 days to do this, and I work 2 out of those 3 days. By that third day, the one day that I'm off, I'm like, I have 53 things to do. But I can cut 10 of those, I guess, or whatever it is, something stupid. But I play mind games to myself, but it's really just me worried about not doing it well or not doing it on time.
I understand.
But in reality, it's really not that. I feel like many times, I look back on a show I did, let's say I finish it, I send it to you. I'm like, yeah, it's good. It came out good. It's nothing wrong. But I think back, I'm like, I could have probably done 2 hours of research in addition to editing the show if I didn't watch this movie, or if I didn't go out to dinner that day, or if I didn't, I think of it like that. And I'm like, oh, all that time I wasted, not doing something like this, not doing it for the show. That's where I kind of put myself in a cycle.
Yeah. No, I could totally relate.
I get that myself a lot, and especially with these 2 research assignments that I've tasked myself, not including Lexi, which is a third one right there, and that I want to do. My ambition is there, but like it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's a motivational thing. I just beat myself up really. It's another thing. I don't do anything, but I don't do enough, and it's like but you're also way better at research than I am. I don't know. So many things. Yeah, that's where I kind of like fear it or doubt it or hate it.
Yeah.
But the editing, it's never really a problem, except when we hear like something crazy, like some new problem that we've never thought of comes up. I'm like, how the fuck did the recording, I don't know, capture the sumpa, for example, more than any other time? And it's right between a good point that you mentioned. I'm like, how the fuck am I going to get this out of there?
Right, because if it overlays or underlays speech,
right,
it's hard to get rid of.
It's hard to get rid of.
Almost impossible to
and
get rid of.
sometimes I have to leave it or just lower the volume a bit on that point, but then your point might be lost, so
Right.
I got to think of it that way. And and I obviously, even when I'm working on the show, sometimes I get bored in the middle because it's tedious work sometimes.
Yeah.
And tediousness, even though it keeps you busy, ideally, tediousness can give you boredom too. So because it's the same thing you've done. It's just that it has to get done. You just need time. And I'm sometimes impatient with myself. So that stuff, those moments I kind of don't like, but I still love it. I love it. I will still do it in a heartbeat over not doing it because I love it more than I hate it. Way more.
Yeah, love it more than hate it.
Yeah.
And, and I hope this doesn't sound like egotistical or whatever, but when we put out an episode and listeners love it and we get this great feedback, man, that is one hell of a feeling. I mean, that is a high right there.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Knowing that we have listeners on the other corner of the world somewhere in Afghanistan, right? To go back to Horatio's comment from very top of the show, we got these people out there in the desert listening to what we're saying. I mean, that is a feeling like no other, to get a 5-star review on iTunes, that someone actually took the time to go that extra step. It is incredible feeling, so love, hate, so hopefully that satisfactorily answered that listener's question. Do we really enjoy it? Okay. This was multiple questions from one Instagram follower.
Okay.
Are you guys single? Big tits or small tits?
Uh-huh.
Lights on or lights off?
Okay.
Top or bottom? So, are you guys single?
No.
Big or small tits? Lights on or off? Top or bottom?
Let's go down the line. So, we're not single.
Nope.
Although my mom would say that I am very single until I'm married.
Okay.
And that's how she thinks of it. There were
is that a Hispanic thing or is that just a mom thing?
I mean, it's probably a Hispanic/Catholic thing.
Okay.
Because they're hella both.
Right. Yep.
Hella both, like extreme. Not like extremism, but to me, they're extreme. And not in a bad way. They're very good people. But like that, for them, my mom has said it before, like, no, you're single until you. I'm like, okay, mom, fine. Officially, technically, yeah. But no, I'm not single. I hate being single. I both hate and love it.
Okay. What do you hate about it?
Well, I hate being alone. Loneliness sucks. Loneliness can be a drug too. Loneliness is a strange, depressing thing that kind of clings to you, but you also want it, you also hate it, you also don't want it. Yeah. Because you can always fill the void with friends, but they never fill all the voids.
Right.
Wink, wink, wink.
Right, we already talked about that topic.
Yes, we did. Yes, we done did. So overall, I love not being single. But sometimes, being alone so rewarding. You have no idea. Every time I'm single, I get so much done. I could.
Right. No, absolutely.
I could do 5 of these podcast recordings.
You could do 5 recordings or you could fucking take a nap.
Right.
I mean, the possibilities are endless. Sky's the limit.
Basically. Obviously that's how it feels. Like when, for example, like I joke around with Lexi. She knows this already, so I'm not like talking out of school here. When I see, like when she goes to Arizona, where she does like once or twice a year for like about a week to visit family. Yeah. Like I get so much shit done. I mean, I see her every day and I love seeing her every day and I will never stop it. But like when she's gone, like I catch up with more movies that I ever wanted to see. And I finish that book I never got to finish. And I write the thesis on this one thing I'm trying to do or, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good. Okay. So next question, big tits or small tits?
I guess a preference is what they're asking for.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Big.
Big. Okay.
Yeah. You? I assume the same.
Well, I'll go down mine when you're finished.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. So
Yeah.
me only. Got
So
it.
you like the big uns?
I would like the big ones. Yeah.
Okay. Lights on or lights off?
On.
On. Okay. Why?
Why? Every single time. Why? Why don't I want to see them?
I don't know if they were talking about seeing the tits. I think during
the other.
I would take this as during sex.
Yeah, I know. I would like to see them during
Oh,
sex.
okay.
What the fuck? I don't mean the tits only. I mean everything.
All right, fair. Good.
Yeah, lights
good.
on.
And finally, top or bottom?
Both, but I guess top for me.
Oh, top for you. Okay.
Overall.
Oh, dominant. Okay.
Huh.
Now this is. I was excited about this question because, and I hope you don't kill me here, but what a lot of people don't realize is that our very own Mr. Oscar Spector is not a meat and potatoes kind of guy when it comes to bedroom activities.
What does that mean? Meat and potatoes kind of guy.
You're not a.
I don't know what that means.
You're not cutting holes in sheets so you can't see the other person. You're not just strictly missionary type of guy. Rock back and forth a few times and go to sleep, are you?
No.
No, you're not.
Do people do that? I guess.
No, you are not. Could you tell us a little bit about your escapades?
Oh, I don't know if that's going to be good. I mean, it'd probably be good podcasting material, but it'll probably get me to the couch.
Okay.
So to speak. But not, I mean, ultimately, no one really knows me, right? So, I don't know, like, in a nutshell, I like, more non-vanilla activities.
Yeah.
For those out there who know what I'm saying, they know immediately what I'm saying. And obviously, I'm not an extremist of any sort. I'm not like, I don't know, what do they call them? Like a BDSM master or anything. I'm not expert on ropes. I'm not like crazy like that. I'm not a porn star either. I don't know how they do that stuff, actually. They're fun to do, I'm sure. They look kind of fun. They also look very hard to do. But but I do follow. I like more different, more dominant stuff. Yeah, overall. And kinky stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Into the kink.
Yes. Yeah. I have experimented on some stuff and that didn't work out, things like that. And I'm like, oh.
Could you mention one thing that you tried that didn't work? Dead air.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think that wouldn't be too embarrassing. Nothing that wouldn't be too embarrassing.
Should we move on from that one?
Yeah, let's move on from that one.
Moving on.
They all came out pretty embarrassing.
What we got? Okay, so we got through your questions.
Yes. What about yours?
So are you single?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I am not single. I am happily married, usually happy, to a beautiful woman. We've been together for 21 years, married for 11. Can't imagine my life without her. So no, not single. Big or small tits? They should have had another comma there with huge tits because I am definitely a boob guy. The bigger the better for me. Lights on or lights off? Definitely on.
Nice.
I can't even. I
can't imagine it off. Honestly.
I don't even know if we've ever done it with off.
I don't think I've ever either.
I like to see it all. Top or bottom? I would say top. On the side and behind. How about that?
Oh man, I mean, he just asked out of two options. I do them all. I do it standing, tied on a table. I've done it.
This was a she.
She, sorry, he.
Yeah.
She. My bad. Usually guys are that crass. I'm sorry about that. I've done it in every fucking position.
Yeah.
With the leg up in a certain way, on the washing machine, whatever.
Those are my three favorite: top, side, and back.
I just asked Lexi, by the way. I don't know if you have any more questions. I think you have one more.
I think I have one more in a statement.
Okay, cool. I asked Lexi to think of a question. So while we go at it, if she asks me something, I'll put it into the show.
Okay.
I don't know.
So yes, married, huge tits, lights on, side, top, and back. And yes, we do accept pics, so send us them boobs. I don't know if you want to leave that in. You can take it out if you want. I don't know why I
That's
said
a comment?
that. No, I said.
Oh, that's what you said.
I said we accept pics. Send us those boobs.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It sounded like you were reading. Sorry. Yeah, sure. Send them.
Send them over. All right. Well, we got multiple fuck yous and a few I hate yous. That's nice.
Great. I mean, you listen to our...
Thank you for that.
That's great. That's great.
I guess it's better to be hated and known than not known at all.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. So to those people who sent those comments, fuck you too.
Mm-hmm. And 3.
And 3. Anything to say to those listeners, Oscar?
Nope.
All right. Moving on. And I'll finish with this one. This one's cool. Do you guys think you are on any watch lists?
Oh.
Do you guys think you're on any watch lists?
That's a good question. I never would have thought of that question.
Yes.
No. Unfortunately, no. Although, I've often thought we've touched on so many different types of conspiracies and
That's
mysterious phenomena. Not just
That's right.
ghosts or aliens, mind you. Those are the top 2, like, wide range stuff, but there have been others, like number stations. We mentioned Mandela, so many things.
Adrenochrome.
Right, adrenochrome. Like, I feel like if one of them is really right on, or we nail one of them like pretty accurately to our assessment or whatever we're researching, like we get too many things right, we probably are in someone's like, if they mention this again, let me know, kind of thing.
Right.
Like, not a watch list, but there's like a red button somewhere that's going to be activated one day.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like maybe one of our topics touched the nerve for someone.
So so you think maybe we are?
Maybe. I mean, it sounds cool in my head to want to do that, but also, if we are, that's probably not a good thing.
I don't know. Does it lend us some street cred if we are?
I mean, would the street defend us, man? Because
No.
I don't think they will.
No, they wouldn't.
Right.
So
It's mortar time.
Yeah. I too love this question because I do think we are on some list somewhere.
Oh, really? You think so?
I do. And it all goes back to Edward Snowden. Now, if you remember, Edward Snowden revealed to the world the existence of Project Prism. Do you remember this? Which is an acronym for...
Yes.
Yeah, Prism is a real government program, which is actually called Planning Tool for Resource Integration, Synchronization, and Management. Prism. Now, Prism it's for those who don't know, maybe you guys do, if you listen to this show you might know this, but it's a data tool designed to collect and process foreign intelligence that passes through American servers and was supposedly put into use in 2008, the last year of George W. Bush's presidency. So in other words, according to national security reporter Mac Ambinder, quote, Prism is a kick-ass GUI that allows an analyst to look at, collect, monitor, and cross-check different data types provided to the NSA, the National Security Agency, from internet companies located in the United States. Internet companies like Google. Now, according to the U.S., Prism cannot be used on a U.S. citizen or used to intentionally target any person known to be in the United States, even though the NSA itself has admitted that Prism was used to target U.S. citizens. Although who those citizens were and how their data was collected remains a mystery. The problem is, the NSA, who controls Prism, needs to be only 51% sure of a target's foreignness. And of course, you got to ask the question, how do you define foreignness?
Right, yeah. Seems pretty vague just so they can cross the lines.
Exactly. Now, it has come to light that the 9 large tech companies have in fact made it easier for the U.S. government, specifically the NSA, to access data from their servers using Prism. And those 9 large tech companies are Microsoft, Yahoo, AOL, Facebook, Google, Apple, Paltalk, YouTube, and Skype.
And apricots.
I mean, that's everything.
Yeah,
that is everything.
Fucking everything. I have all those apps almost.
Yep. And 98% of Prism's focus is on Yahoo, Google, and Microsoft.
Crazy.
And, yeah.
Crazy.
And according to Snowden's leak, information can and is gathered from emails, chat logs, videos, photos, stored data, Gmail, Google Drive, file transfers like between Dropbox, video conferencing, logins, and all social networking data. So basically everything is monitored by Prism all in the name of national security.
Mm-hmm.
And here's some more examples of how the NSA watches us. Our cell phones. Whenever we move anywhere with our phones or smart devices, cell towers pick up that movement and could be used to pinpoint our near exact location. And cell phone carriers are required to collect this data, and that data must be handed over to the NSA if requested. The NSA is known to intercept shipments of phones, laptops, and tablets, and they build backdoors into the device software so it can monitor user activity anytime, anywhere. And the backdoor devices are then sent on to their final destination, and these things wind up in our hands. So to answer this listener's question as to whether or not we feel, or at least I feel, we're being monitored, I say absolutely yes. Considering the topics we discuss on this show and the internet searches we do to help build those topics, we are definitely
I think with Dave
being
alone,
monitored.
He reads so much hate and discussion on Facebook with unrelated political stuff, by the way, to the show. But him being on here is a connection right there. Like, God knows what to watch. He was on before he joined the show.
And we are both on his Facebook.
We're both on his Facebook.
So if the NSA requests a data dump,
connects to everyone
from Dave Black, which isn't his real Facebook
Have you seen The Great Hack?
username.
That documentary talks about that.
No.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Oh, man.
I know very little about it, but Ralph told me about it. My brother's really into like getting email security, things like that.
Yeah,
he wants
absolutely.
to do that more often. And he's getting me into it too. I might do that.
Yeah. And the problem is, if they collect data on Dave Black, guess who else has come along for the ride?
You and me?
Us.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
So there's really no check and balances, even though the government says that PRISM could only be used for foreign stuff. That's very loosely defined on what they consider foreign. Remember?
Well, I know I'm foreign because I'm Mexican.
Exactly.
Even though I wasn't born there.
We don't know.
Exactly.
Your parents?
Right, my parents.
Which in lieu are you? Is you?
By blood, right? That's technically me, I guess.
Exactly. Right? So then are you a target too?
Right.
So it's fucked up. So yes, thank you for that question. What a wonderful question to end on.
Well, Lexi did send me one.
Oh, she did?
I sent it to you on your text.
You did?
Yeah, she texted me one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, listeners. We're not ending yet. Remember, this is loose fit.
Yeah, loose fit, like jeans. That's the thing. I do believe.
Okay, I got it. From Lexi. Which episode had the deepest effect on you and why? What were you feeling? And how could you relate? Ooh, man.
I feel like we briefly touched on this, though. Ooh. Like, I would say...
Deeply affected.
You know which one affected... Here, since we already mentioned, probably my most affected one was probably our alien activity during ET Highway.
Oh, with you in the desert.
I mean, that's the one I come to the first, but not necessarily the most impacted, because someone like Junko affected me.
Oh.
You know, like in that moment.
Listeners on this feed did not hear the Junko Furuta episode because it was Patreon only.
We had to. I asked you to go walk. Let's go walk outside for a bit.
You did.
It was just feeling, oh my God, like it's horrendous stuff all the time. But like, I would say, if I have to say another one, is the murder site over in Nevada. That we discovered.
Oh.
Which I think was a bonus episode, actually.
I think it was a bonus episode on this feed.
Oh, on this feed, yeah. Back then we didn't have Patreon. We didn't have extra different feeds. But that was... Oh,
my God. That was right.
That was deeply insane because, like, we see the evidence of the guilt this guy must have, the obviousness of his clearly fucked up crime he must have done. Clearly did, I mean, it seems, because there's no way, why would you do it otherwise?
In the middle of the hot-ass desert, in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. It took him a long time. He did it himself. Yeah, he made sure that it wouldn't get, like, eroded with weather.
Right. He had channels dug for water.
Channels, right. Yeah, right.
In case it floods.
But I remember that at the same time, I also felt very at peace, because I remember I told you that I really, like, grew to love the desert, and I love the desert atmosphere. I've never felt clearer in my head. Or maybe even spiritually, if you want to get Wicca or Lexi up in here. Like, I felt very clear in that whole trip we were doing stuff.
Yeah.
Especially with when we went to that ghost town. Rhyolite too. I felt it very similarly there. Very deep stuff there. And yeah, you know, and I mean, I can relate to someone who could feel guilty for stuff I did a long time ago and doing everything to like get past it without actually putting yourself in jail, I guess. For something that long gone, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What a great one to pull, though, because do you remember at that shrine site there was bags of little person clothes
Yes.
that we
Yes.
touched, we saw?
Women's stuff too.
It was either an extremely petite woman or a little girl.
Yeah.
And
yeah, toothbrush, I think, comb.
yeah, little pants, underwear, little underwear, brushes, hair ties, toiletries, novels. You know what? I can't remember being that freaked out at a location we've visited on this podcast. I can't think of one after seeing that bag of clothes.
Yeah.
Because that tells you right there, did he kill her? Or I shouldn't say it tells you, it begs the question right there, did this guy kill her?
Yeah.
Did she just simply pass away and this is his homage to her somehow?
Yeah.
But then why the clothes?
But also, yeah.
Was it a hitchhiker he picked up and killed? A prostitute? I don't fucking know. We don't know. So wow. That's a good call on that one, Oscar.
Yeah, it's another one if you want to get a little less morbid and serious maybe. A big one is still, I mentioned it before already in another question, is the 411 missing 411 blew my mind. I cannot believe it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I can't believe it. I still think it sometimes in my back, like in my head, like, what the? Why is no one talking? Like, I don't understand. One guy is talking about, he wrote books, he's successful. He's doing a lot. For one person, he did a lot.
Yes.
He's a hell of a spotlight.
David Paulides, yeah.
But not enough. Not even close. It's not even in mainstream movies. It's not even a thing to talk to me, make fun of. It's not a thing in the news so much. It's not like reported really well.
Nope.
What the fuck?
Yes.
And it's national parks. Like the one thing that, I mean, yeah, that happens there because of nature and animals and whatever, but you never think of it in this such abnormal, clearly supernaturally fucked up way, and it's so bizarre. It's the most bizarre episode for me, more than any alien, zoological, whatever ghost thing we've ever done, because it's backed up with so much material.
Yes.
So much material. I can easily say, like, nope, bitch, there's all this proof. Look at it, read it. There's no way it's not something going out there. Something's happening.
Yeah. Again, another good call. Another one that I think deeply affected me was when we caught that little boy on EVP when we were interviewing the owner of
Ohio.
T&J Smokehouse.
That was crazy.
On one of the Ohio islands. I can't remember if it was Put in Bay or Kelly's Island.
It was Put in Bay.
It was Put in Bay?
Bay was the college one.
Okay.
Kelly's Island was the more adult one.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. When we recorded that voice, and we actually did a bonus episode. I think it's called PD Makes an Appearance.
Yes, that's right.
So listeners could hear this voice for themselves and hear us talk about it. That was a wow moment for me.
Even Dave didn't fuck that one up. He totally...
Yeah. No, Dave didn't scully that one.
No, he did not.
So that was another pretty profound one, too. Yeah. Good question, Lexi. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Think about over 99 episodes.
Should go through our list.
We've interviewed prostitutes at a brothel. We think we've seen a UFO. We've captured ghostly voices on the podcast. We visited the desert in Area 51, Little Alien. We've been to the Ohio Islands. We visited Serpent Mound. Dave, Joe, and I went up to Massachusetts and did all sorts of podcast releases from the infamous Bridgewater Triangle. We've gone to the Lizzie Borden house and interviewed workers at the Lizzie Borden house for this show.
Mm-hmm.
We've interviewed business owners, skeptics. We've interviewed believers. Fuck, we've been busy over 99 episodes.
For sure.
Not to mention all of just the research-based stories that we've released. I'd say we've done pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, also another one that's very mystically satisfying. This is a different kind of deeply moved kind of answer. Is I think it was Kelly's Island, the glacial grooves on the
glacial
Earth.
grooves.
Yeah, that was crazy. It's such a crazy thing that happened so long ago. That's one of the very few evidences you'll ever see, and it's in Ohio.
Yeah, right. And Ohio of all places.
Right.
We did a really great release that included the glacial grooves. God, I can't think of the name of it right now, but that was one of the episodes that Dan Precision from 88 Fingers Louie edited for us because there was so much content to put together.
That's right. It was really hard for me to.
Yeah.
Also, Writer's End, my first fucking real
Writer's
ghost encounter, right?
Yes, that's right.
Or energy, whatever we want to call it. I know ghost is like our shorthand. We don't really mean ghosts, but whatever it stands for.
Yeah, whatever energy it is.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
That's right. You've seen it.
Yeah, that was the first real one. Yeah, I mean, I always have thoughts like, oh, well, that thing as a kid, maybe, or that thing at night. Sometimes I sense something. Yeah, sure. And I've told you some little things like that before, but they're never for sure. That one was fucking for sure.
Yeah,
that one was for real.
Yeah, there you go. The other things we visited: haunted hotels, cemeteries,
Pfister, right?
The Pfister Hotel, Indian burial grounds. We've brought to the listeners all this
mediums,
content.
like the Dylan Bell guy. I remember that guy now. Remember the painting?
Oh, Dylan Bell. Yeah, that's right. The psychic.
Yeah, the psychic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So, man, we've done a lot, Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Here's to 100 more.
Oh, for sure. Let's just aim for 100. Yeah, definitely. I'll do 100 more.
Excellent. Well, I think we're done. Oscar, should you take us home?
Let's do it. See you at 101.
101.
For relaxing times, make it Suntory time.
Are you liking it?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Cool.
I don't know what honeydew is, but I like it.
Like I said, it's a white cantaloupe is what it is.
Okay. I don't think I've ever had that.
You never had cantaloupe?
White cantaloupe.
Oh, yeah, it's a honeydew.
Yeah. Fucking who's on first? Today I tried telling an 18-year-old a who's on first joke, and she's like, what? Like, fuck.
Take your pumpkin spice latte and get out of here.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I can't blame her. She was born. Can you imagine? This girl, we hired her. She's a coworker. She's 18. She was born after or around 9/11.
Jesus Christ.
We were so alive.
It all comes crashing down. Jesus Christ.
Your Jenga tower has fallen.
I had everything situated perfectly.
Your house of cards that you built, Jay.
Such a flimsy house.
It was so like DIY and like, oh my god. I'm surprised you didn't put tape to secure it in place, like Scotch tape.
How does that even happen to a person? That's what I get for trying to improve things.
You should have seen your face. What little face. That was funny.
This shit don't work, man. Something's gonna have to go.
Oh man. Well, I don't think you need the pop filter, honestly.
No?
Nah.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I don't have to.
I honestly, I don't think you need any of it. I think your peas are great. No one's complaining about your peas but you, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh. It's better to fall now than when we started recording. That's good.
That's an outtake for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry.
It's okay.
So this woman posted this thing on Twitter that, I mean, kind of blew up in a way, got a lot of reactions. Guys, if I asked you for your phone, would you be proud of what I found in your conversations or group chat with male friends? Would you even let me see them? And so guess what? She got a bunch of screenshots.
Yeah.
This is my current favorite one. One dude. What was the name of that YouTube download program? YouTube Downloader. One of the boys said they were going to watch Ad Astra, right? I hope it's Rad Astra and not Bad Astra. Tommy Lee Jones plays the Dad Astra. If John Hamm shows up, it's Mad Astra. Their other mission is to Scotland. It's Plaid Astra.
Have you seen Ad Astra yet?
I did.
Did you like it?
I did. I really did.
I heard it's super slow.
Oh yeah, it's methodic as fuck.
Is there monsters?
Monsters? No.
Fuck, I don't want to see it then.
Why did you think there would be monsters?
I don't know. I was hoping.
There's no indication at all in the synopsis or the trailers that there's any kind of like.
I always hope for monsters.
Well, it's not a horror movie.
Are there explosions?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a few of those.
Is Brad Pitt running from an explosion?
You mean like Tom Cruise would do it?
Yeah.
No, Tom Cruise is in the movie. He'd be running, but you can run in space.
Well, I guess you can't. You kind of float fast.
I can float. You know what floating looks like cinematically? It looks like someone gliding. Yeah, or like need to be alone.
I mean, everyone has a need to be alone. I wish I could be alone.
I usually have that need when I'm surrounded by people.
Exactly. God, I wish I wasn't here with all of you right now.
Well, all you fucking assholes. Yeah. Usually at parties, I feel like I really don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like,
except for our parties, right?
Of course.
Yay.
Yeah, nice save. Nice save, Oscar.
There you go, Oscar.
No, even then, like, I still went off to sit down for myself a little bit. Remember?
Yeah.
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 Not a big deal.
Oh, no, I love alone time, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great. It's too great. Doesn't me feel like, am I against my nature? Because, we're primates, right? Came from that kind of thing.
Well, that's what they say.
From apes and whatever. And, well, in general, humans would have to, for a long, long, long time before this point, we had to rely on communities to live, survive, breathe, and eat, and everything.
Right.
We have less of that reliance. So is it unnatural for us to seek solitude when that was never even a thought that crossed our minds in the past?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That'd be kind of fun to think and explore. I'm sure there's a few books about that for sure. Psychology or anthropology books.
Yeah.
I should look into that.
I think you should.
Just to answer that question. I just don't have to read like 5 books to answer that question. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just want a quick Vice article.
Something. Come on, tell me what it is. Tell me, yes, Oscar, you're right.